What's up, everybody? Welcome to In the Guard, your one-stop shop for all things MMA, UFC, Bellator, pretty much anything where someone's getting punched in the face. We will be talking about it right here, right now, available on YouTube, anywhere podcasts are found. Hit us up. Find us on intheguardpodcast.com for all of our social media info. I'm Mike.
I'm Tony. What about the Karens?
The Karens? There was no Karens there. They'll be back. Don't worry. Once they do show up, they give us some, ammunition to talk about. We'll be in there talking about those Karens. They'll be back. It's cold outside.
We got to talk about the Karens. Plenty of that shit going around. Also, we're going to talk about the hits, the hangovers, how we did on our whiskey and our wagers, what hit, what left us hungover, what we weren't too happy about.
Yeah, so right now we'll be talking about UFC Fight Night Vegas 16, Hermansson versus Vettori, the third main event, right?
What sticks out the most to you from
COVID.
last night? COVID.
The story of 2020.
I don't know how it was, who was it? Benitez that got performance of the night. Should have been COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID.
Took out 6 fighters.
I think you said it. I think
without breaking a sweat.
The leads of the year and finishes.
Yeah. Should be in the UFC Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, 1 year, most wins.
Yeah.
But that being said, the card ended up being pretty damn good.
It's pretty good.
The fights were fun. There really was not a boring fight in the mix last
No, I feel like that small cage really pushes the action.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you look at like a lot of these fights, maybe in normal circumstances they wouldn't.
Right.
They'd go the distance, but they don't.
Right.
It's like wow.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some big finishes for sure.
Yeah.
A classic probably main event. Some people are calling it the best fight of the year. I wouldn't go that far.
Nah.
But it was a good one.
Maybe it's right outside the top 15 for me. Great fight.
These cards ended about midnight local time.
Yeah.
I was wide awake through the whole fight. There's been some main events lately where
we know you sneak that power nap in there usually during the chick fights.
Yeah, the edible starts hitting a little bit hard. Like let me take a little nap here right now.
Mike's taking a nap.
Chikagian's fighting. Let me take a nap real quick.
Yeah.
But last night didn't have one of those. They're all pretty good. I guess we'll start by going over the main event, right?
Yeah.
Last second edition, Martin Vettori, the closest man to beating Stylebender himself, right? If you ask him, he said he did win that fight. Stepped up on short notice and he got it done. It was a 5-round war. What
was surprising to me was his cardio held up.
Bad, me too.
And I thought that Hermansson would actually have an advantage on the feet from the tape that I watched. Like Hermansson in the Jacare fight showed decent counter boxing.
Yeah.
Didn't see a lot of that last night. I think something was going on. Once Vettori, he was hitting that left hand all night. And when he drops Hermansson, he
was being deceptive too. He looked like he was gassed.
Yeah.
He was breathing hard. Even his corner saying stop breathing hard, but he wasn't getting tired. He kind of slowed a little bit in the third round. I thought maybe this is going to be the end of the fight. Like it's going to be over. Yeah. Hermansson's going to take over. But I think that was just I'm up 2-0. Let me catch my breath here in this third round. And he came back in 4 or 5 and arguably won both.
He took a round off. I mean, that's a common thing in 5-round fights, right?
But it's surprising to see a young guy do that. A vet who's been in that fight. This is his first 5-round fight.
It's a young guy that he wasn't training for a 5-round fight.
He's never been there before. So
and
he
I
had
think
no idea.
The biggest story of that fight was Hermansson met his match grappling wise. He couldn't get the fight to the ground. Yeah,
and he kind of got the raw end of this deal, right? Changing 3 opponents in 3 months, basically. Yeah. I think he got upgrade. Now maybe Till probably been tougher, tough challenge as well because of his size and his striking ability. But when he went down to Holland, Kevin Holland, I love him. He's entertaining, but I think Vettori was a big step up in competition.
I think Vettori poses the roughest matchup for Hermansson.
Short notice too. On such a short notice. Like he wasn't game plan for something totally different.
Vettori and Hermansson share the same strengths. It's their grappling. Right.
And he's trained. That's one thing like Till and Holland have in common too. They're both strikers. They're gonna Holland does. I think he has a black belt, doesn't he?
He does.
He does, but he doesn't really use it. He sits there. He bangs with you. He goes for those knockouts. And Till, he's a kickboxer. He hits you at range all day. So then you go this guy who's a grappler, bigger, more thicker fighter, right? Not really a rangy type guy. It's a totally different challenge.
Whereas Hermansson's game enough. He can keep it on the feet long enough to get it to the ground.
He's world
but
class.
he didn't fucking have that option last night.
He's world class. And I think it proves, Vettori, that he's world class.
And you can see the game plan. Hermansson was hoping Vettori was going to gas, and it just didn't happen.
Right.
They had that 4th round. I think he had a oh shit moment. This isn't going the way I wanted to go.
For real. Yeah. It's it's 4th, 5th round. These punches still hurting. Who knows when that orbital got broken? But it happened somewhere in that fight, and he was still coming with more heat late in the fight.
Real good fight, though. Definitely did not disappoint.
Better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a grappling match, which I couldn't appreciate, but this is a fight that anybody in the world, like the casual fan, would enjoy watching.
I think the judges got it right. I don't necessarily agree with the 10-8 first round. I got it 49-46.
I could see the 10-8.
4 rounds to 1.
I could see the 10-8 just because he almost put him out. Hermansson had to hold on for dear life. Arguably, Dean could have stopped that fight.
He was sitting in half guard there, working that underhook for a bit. He knew where he was at.
Fight stopped like I've seen different fights stopped in that same situation. So like that's why I could see the 10-8. I don't see you need a 10-8 like a guaranteed one, but I could see why they went with it. But Hermanson again, comes away scared. I guess he went in there with a broken toe too. They kind of talked about it beforehand, and now he's leaving a broken orbital. Kind of sucks for him. It's probably going to drop down the rankings. Yeah. I don't know how far down he's going to go, but maybe he does get that Holland fight to come back and try to work his way up later. I don't know. Yeah. I think Vettori, the book for him now, is Darren Till.
Really?
Give him the Darren Till fight.
Why don't you just throw him right to the Reaper?
He's not ready. He's not ready for the Reaper.
Ready or not.
Plus the Reaper is his title match.
Yeah.
If I'm Whitaker, I'm not fighting anybody unless it's Adriel Adesanya. There's no way I'm going to risk that spot. I'm on fire. I just beat Till.
You're going to be sitting on that shelf for a while.
Look at it worked out for
Riding
Stipe.
the pine.
Worked out for Stipe. And, but because why would you want to he has nothing to gain by fighting Vettori. And he's probably enjoying, he's home. He's from New Zealand, right? Yeah. There's no COVID there. He's hanging out, living life.
Whitaker?
Yeah.
Whitaker's Australia.
He's Australian? But either way, he's sitting at home right now enjoying his life. I know he has some kids. He kind of took some time away for a little bit after a while.
He's playing his video games, man. He's styling on that.
I'd wait for style better and let him go play around in light heavyweight, see what happens there. And then I would not fight again until I fought him if I was Whitaker. So I think the fight for Vettori would be that Till fight. And then whichever one of them, it goes right in the title fight afterwards. Next up, we had the co-main. The one that it was so funny all week. We were arguing sides, right? This is the beauty.
We were this close from me getting the Von Prue choke mic on air.
Yeah, that was the bet. But this is the beauty of playing DraftKings, everybody. By the end of the night, we were cheering against our picks because we wanted our lineups to do better. All week, I was big on Jamal Hill. If you notice our picks on Twitter, I actually picked him in by knockout, which how he won the fight. And all week you were big.
I was big on OSP. I thought the experiences was going to get it done. I thought he was going to expose Hill on the ground. Then again, OSP. I don't know. He just sits back and just kind of fucking.
He can beat anybody.
Lets the fight come to him, and then when you have somebody like Hill who looked great, like he had great forward pressure, he had great boxing, he has that kill instinct. Like his punches are straight and they're down the pipe and they're accurate.
Like OSP has that weird demeanor where you can't tell if he's just calm or doesn't care.
You see him at the weigh-ins, it looks like he looks like shit, but he just always looks like that.
He always just like has that level, so you can't really get a read on him, how he's acting, how he's feeling. Yeah. But there is certain performances where he kind of looks like, okay, like he was kind of causing damage to that leg kick. He was eating up. He was actually walking gingerly on the leg towards that round, and he stopped going. He just stopped doing it. I don't know why.
It's almost like, it's good for Hill. He gets the name. He gets a big name win. Yeah. But I feel like it's kind of a lose-lose because, like, he didn't really get tested in that fight. No. Somebody is going to test. He cracks that top 15. He's going to get – he's going to have to grapple.
I'd say next you put him against a guy like Spann. Something like that. Maybe Johnny Walker type.
Maurice Green, a crochet boss.
Yeah, somebody in that level, maybe low-ranked opponent. But
Crochet Boss is heavyweight, isn't he?
OSP is like the definition of gatekeeper. Like if you can hang in there with him, he's fought all the best people in the world. He's beaten some of the top people in the world. So if you go in there and you leave with a victory, a knockout too of that, he finished him. He just knocked out Alonzo Menafield. His last fight, right? Yeah. Knocked him out cold. And Menafield was Hill before Hill came along. He's the next up and undefeated guy making his way through there. So he got to the gate. Now it's time. Okay. Let's see how you do against the top bubble guys.
Yeah, that was one we had fun with throughout the week, but went your way, didn't go mine.
I call this fight bubble guts because Jamal Hill, I've never seen that many body shots in an MMA. He was going to the body so hard. I mean, maybe it's because the leg kicks are kind of like replaced body shots.
Stipe DC. That was Stipe went to the well with that.
No, but how often do they happen there? Like it happens, but not.
It was that often. The fourth round.
Yeah. So that was another fun fight. Again, I wish we got the top OSP up too. Yeah. This one was a great one-round fight. There was not a dull moment.
I was on Benavidez for the most part from the beginning. I just feel like his physicality, his size was going to be a little bit too much for James, and kind of how it played out.
Who was it? Josh Thompson, I believe, was saying that he trains at AKA. So he trains out with all those guys out there, and they're saying his kicks are the hardest out of anybody. Yeah. DC was saying it. They're all the way this guy. And you saw it. Yeah.
It's almost you could see by the way, like if they mean business the way they're built. And Benitez he's thick in the back, he's thick in the shoulders, he throws power with his shots. Right. You can just see it. You see it, and it's. James has that like that stocky, like lift weight body,
he throws the hooks. I'm gonna throw a big hook at you, and if I hit you with him, you're gonna go down. And he actually looked. Mowgli had a huge welt on his face in that first round. We're like, oh man, he's landing. Yeah. There was no light shot. I even put in my notes like there's no soft, there's no combination. We're bombing. We're throwing bombs. And, it was the leg kicks. Gabriel Benitez hitting rear leg kicks.
But you're seeing that difference in those muscle fibers. Those type 1, type 2 twitch.
The rear leg kick?
I haven't. That was they were talking about it last night.
He was eating it up, too. It wasn't like one time here. Like he trains for it or something. And I don't think you train against that, you know? I was backing James in this fight, one, because I knew he had the knockout power. He's the type of guy who's I'm going to knock him out or get knocked out. And he had the backstory with his dad. He's going in there. His dad's terminally ill, I believe. Against doctor's order, decided to be in the corner for his son because he said this is probably the last time I'll be able to see my son fight.
Yeah, because fuck chemo.
Yeah. So,
let's live life.
I got behind that story like he's going to do it. But, sometimes in fighting, that's not a good thing, that emotion. We've seen it, with the Walt Harris's. You get so geeked up, you get that adrenaline dump, and I think that's kind of what happened with him. And then Benitez is a bigger, stronger fighter.
Beautifully placed knee right down the pipe.
I mean, even before that, he was eating up his guts with those kicks too. He was just, and you heard
there's just more pop on the
like
shots.
Baseball bats.
Yeah, it's like he's just been doing this forever.
And, I mean, he kicked so hard. Remember this last fight, he had that big hole on his leg. Yeah, literally like a tree hole, like a knot hole in the tree. It was gigantic.
And Benitez is durable. He's tough.
He didn't lose that fight.
No,
he lost, but he didn't. He didn't get finished. He was fighting with that big hole in his leg.
I think that was a big thing going into this because James opened the heavy favorite, and then flipped.
Yeah. So, Mosley Benitez is the guy to watch in that lightweight division. Yeah. Like, he doesn't get a lot of love because it's a superstar division. He kind of falls under the radar, but he can go. He can go for sure. Yeah. I would like to see him get a top 15 guy next.
Why not?
Right. He deserved that.
That division kind of seems like, you get out of that top 6, 7, it thins out a little bit. Right. We need some people to start revamping it.
Well, we'll see what happens with, next month, everything that's going on, too.
All right. So, hide your heels, Dolidze. John Allen.
So, John Allen.
I would say underwhelming for me.
It was interesting for sure as well. Dolidze is a big time prospect. Was he 7-0 coming in?
Yeah, but you watch him and finishes. it's like he's got all this ADCC credentials and he fights like it's ADCC. Right. Exactly. It's like he's advancing position. He's looking for the submission, but he's not doing like he could do it. He could have done so much damage holding that half guard position with elbows and punches and
soft punches.
It's like he's playing with his food a little bit.
I don't know if he's playing with his food or it's just he's still learning. He's learning on the job type deal.
True.
And he'll tighten that up. Maybe he was trying to go 3 rounds. Yeah. The way he kind of talks, like it's a good experience, to be that deep. Yeah. He never been out of I think this fight was longer than all his fights combined. Yeah. The time spent in this fight.
Yeah. And then you got John Allen with the Izzy Adesanya pec there.
Yeah.
We all know it's post PED, not post weed.
He is coming off PED suspension.
The Izzy gyno.
I was heavy on Dolidze, and I was dragging John Allen all week, calling him all kinds of names, this, that, and the other. He's a soup can, and he's a bum, left and right, without any regard for any respect. But he stepped in that cage, and he was there. He was game.
I think you were right the first time, Matt Wyman being the soup can. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
But no, on the feet, he kind of got the better of Dolidze.
I agree. I think John Allen put up a pretty good fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially being post-PED. You can imagine what's going on him from a mental aspect,
I just feel, what was he thinking just holding that half guard, not doing nothing with it? Like, he was not trying to advance position too much.
Like, I think John Allen was one of those people who, he's got takedowns and stuff, but he's the guy that's on top. Right. He wasn't in that position,
And obviously, he probably felt a few of those bombs coming from Dolidze too. Like, he must go hold on here and try to stand back up next round. Yeah. That could have been his mindset too, because again, he doesn't throw a lot of punches, but they're hard. Yeah. Dolidze's a big, strong dude, looking like a young Sean Connery up there. Yeah. Perfect.
He keeps going for those those heels though, and
you got that. Look at that taco meat on the chest right there.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's a family's worth of tortas right there. But yeah, it was a good fight. Dolidze moves on 8-0.
But we forgot about the biggest thing to this fight. Fucking Chris Lee. The judge.
Yeah.
How do you give it a 29-28, Allen?
So it's the funniest thing about Chris Lee. I never knew his name before last night, and we're watching the fights. We're texting back and forth, and we're like, "Who the hell scored that fight?" Because this is clearly Dolidze's fight. He may not have had the best performance of his life or anything like that, but there was no doubt he won pretty much every minute of that fight. Oh. But this guy Chris Lee gives 2-1 to
29-28.
29-28 to Allen. There we go. The pink judge. I think that's gonna be a new term in MMA. Whenever there's a bad call,
they're the pink judge.
Either Chris Lee or the pink judge. The pink judge is screwed up. It's kind of like the old school, like the Russian judge gives you a 5.9, everybody else gives you 6. Yeah. The pink judge is gonna screw you.
We got the sour pink tonight.
Yeah, sour.
Not what you want.
Yeah, the pink lemonade. Yeah. But apparently it's funny. I was joking. I told him, like, I bet you it's the same guy who gave Felder the fight.
Yeah.
And then Felder makes the same joke on air.
And it confirms it.
It was the same guy that gave Paul Felder that fight. And Paul Felder was like, I didn't win that fight.
Yeah.
So maybe he needs to go watch some more film.
I think it's the thing. He's a boxing judge. He's looking for damage to be done. He doesn't understand the grappling, the dominant positions that, deletes how hard it is to hold that position. You and I grapple, so we know that it's not just easy to hold half guard or hold side control. There's
two things they need to do about these judges. One, they need to go through a specific set of things to look for these judges before they go. It's not boxing. It's totally different sport.
Yeah.
Two, they should have to be accountable. If a ref has a bad stoppage, he gets interviewed. He gets questioned. He has to talk. He has to be right there, right front and center. This is why I stopped. This is what I saw. Good or bad, this is what I did. Like, your ref is held accountable. And I'll say this last show. I said it, and I'll say it again. They need to display these scores every single round. At the end of the round, put them on a score.
Who does that? Is it PFL?
I think it's PFL. I'm not sure exactly where it is. Somebody does do it where they display it. So at the very least, these fighters know what's going on.
Well, if you look here, it says to become a licensed judge in Nevada, applicants need to do the following: pass a background check and an annual eye exam, quote, have the ability to criticize, analyze, and effectively score a professional contest of unarmed combat by interpreting and applying the applicable rules for the event. What I'm not sure what that means. No. How do you analyze and effectively do that?
MMA is mixed martial arts. You're gonna have to interpret grappling. You're gonna have to.
Well, the 10-9 in general. That's a boxing thing.
Yeah.
That's a boxing thing for sure. So they're already just trying to adapt. They're trying to mold one sport into another. There's way too many aspects in MMA. I mean, think about how when we do our jiu-jitsu tournaments, there's points, everything you do. Obviously, there's finishes, stuff like that. Yeah. So a move, a transition. Like, if they can interpret some of that into the grappling aspect in there. Like, I don't know if they want to put an actual point for a sweeper or something like that, but they don't interpret that whatsoever. Some judges do. Some do. But a lot of these people, if they see that a guy was getting the better of somebody on the feet, and the person who's getting punched in the mouth gets taken down and works the ground and holds dominant position, they're giving the round to the guy who was winning on the feet.
Yeah,
that's happening, and that's not.
Yeah. There were some moments on Fight Island, though. You had some people working good from the bottom, which you don't happen to see often with judges, where the guys are throwing elbows from the bottom, throwing up triangles in there, getting the round, which is good to see. But then you come back here and you see this kind of shit. Well, it's like guys in top control the whole time.
Abu Dhabi, right? Abu Dhabi, ADCC, they're way
know.
more familiar with grappling.
Yeah, they know. They know.
They're way more familiar with grappling over there. They can understand who's winning that.
Yeah. So the next fight, we can go pretty quick through this one.
This one?
Can we do it faster than 22 seconds, though?
Yes.
Can we cover this fight in faster than 22 seconds? So first off,
monkey plays with food.
Man.
The Monkey King.
The fact that he carried another adult across the ring, or the cage, I should say, for like what? Most of the fight was him carrying him across the cage, thinking about where do I want to put this guy.
Well, he hurt his corner. Right. Bring him over here. Bring him over here.
Okay. Especially Jordan Levitt, his demeanor is funny but scary at the same time.
Well, it's almost like maybe there's been some non-physical connection between Matt Wyman and his wife, because he was content to stay there. Man. Hug me. Yeah. Hug me. I've been neglected since March.
Matt Wyman's been in how many pro fights? I bet you nothing like that has ever happened to him whatsoever.
Fuck, man. Matt Hughes his ass.
Man, it was ugly. Luckily, I think he's okay.
Second fastest slam KO in UFC history.
It looked scary. It looked like it could have been a neck, out the back of the head.
He's got some serious whiplash.
For sure. He's going to feel the effects of 22 seconds.
It's almost like they should put like fucking, pressure readers underneath the fucking octagon, so we know like how many PSI they slammed him. That'd be awesome.
That could be awesome. It's kind of like a radar gun. I know when I'm driving.
You watch his neck. He's like.
I know when I'm driving, I see a radar. I want to see how fast I can get high score. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, the average head weighs 12 pounds. So I think it doesn't take much to create the.
But yeah, he picked him up, slammed him in 22 seconds. Kind of disappointing though. It's fun to watch, fun to see. I kind of wanted to see Levin get pushed a little bit, see what happens to him. He obviously is a world-class grappler. Submissions are great. I wanted to see somebody hit him in the face. Make him get uncomfortable and see. I always thought he was going to win the fight. He was my lock of the night to win the fight.
Same, yeah.
But Wyman being a vet, never been submitted before. So I thought, okay, Levitt's best way to win this fight is to submit this guy, and he's never been submitted. So maybe he's going to push him. I can't go through my main route and winning. How am I going to do this? And obviously he was spectacular in it, but he still didn't really get a good read on what going to happen when he gets pushed. I want to see it happen.
Story of that. Shame on UFC.
He's a
Why
great
was
fighter.
Wyman there?
Yeah. I mean, but on Jordan Levin's, sportsmanship through the roof. Yeah. Nice dude. Yeah. Almost too nice for it's scary. Like
serial killer demeanor.
Serial killer, he can totally have bodies that he just slams through his floorboards and just puts him over it because he's got the weird faces he makes. But he looked good. I mean, how can you say anything bad about him? Right?
Yeah.
Next fight was until the main event. I think the fight of the night.
My second favorite.
Right, second favorite fight for sure. That's
Great fight. Great fight.
We had another one we were kind of good odds at all week long. I was big Smoker.
Yeah, I was more on Quinones. Didn't know what I was going to get from Smoker.
And then that's kind of the knock on Smoker. I know a level-headed Smoker though is a world-class fighter.
Yeah, Smoker obviously the better fighter all around. But like, what are you going to get? Like, he's botched a weight cut. He's had alcohol issues. He's had motivation issues. Yeah, don't drink. And
Warbringer.
Quinones was something to prove after getting sugared on the Sugar Show.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, like, I had that first round. I thought Smoker scored it at the end, stole it at the end. You had Quinones winning it, but which I totally am not going to debate. But
he had a knockdown and a takedown. The big thing Smoker had, he got up quick. Yeah. And his knockdown and takedown. It wasn't like he stayed down. Quinones wasn't able to hold position, and I think beyond that knockdown and takedown was kind of even.
Yeah.
But if somebody scored Smoker, this is not a pink ref or pink judge style.
Yeah.
This I could see this going either way. That first round, but second round, Smoker came out.
Yeah, he got it done.
Got that whizzer in. Yeah, sick ass judo toss.
Got it done.
It was awesome.
Got the ground and pound. The finish.
And worked him to finish. It was awesome 2-round fight. I kind of wish it would go on longer because it was so. That was one of my dead on calls. I called Smoker by TKO. Yeah,
he's quite the likable guy, man. He owns his shit. After the interview, he's like, I'm the most inconsistent guy probably in the UFC,
And that's because he's going through his problems. Like, it's well documented.
And he owns
his alcoholism that he's been through. He's supposedly clean now, get himself, like, the weight cut 2 weeks ago before that fight got canceled was scary. Like, is he back on, is he back off track? Is he losing control? What is it going to be? But when I saw on Friday, he came in great shape, underweight, ready to go.
Good.
Looked great. I was like, Smoker's going to win this fight because he's a better fighter. And he's a better resume, too. Like, he's fought great guys. I mean, his last loss was, to Casey Kenny?
He lost Casey Kenny by sub, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a
before, and then he beat Mujari, the guy that just...
He beat Mujari.
By sub?
Yeah, who doesn't, so he could beat anybody in that division. So I was big on Smoker. Quinones is a solid pro. He's a solid pro for sure. I don't know where he goes from here.
I'm just not quite sure if he's UFC level, though.
I think he's going to be, like, what's a step below Gatekeeper? Like he's
cut.
No.
Bellator.
Okay. Bellator. Oh man, we're gonna piss off so many people. There are so many Bellator diehards right now, fucking hating up our comments. Good, take the heat off me.
What do we say? Good.
Yeah, good. Hit them comments up. But no, like I'd put him more as like a gatekeeper for the younger guys, like like OSP Hill. Kind of had a little bit more established, and it's a next level gatekeeper. Okay, I'm going to fight the ranked guys first, but he's a good first fight.
Yeah.
To like are you UFC level?
I mean, he came out game.
Yeah,
like I was
UFC level,
I was on him. I thought he was going to win the fight because I didn't know what I was going to get from Smoker. But
I just don't understand a guy who has jujitsu's tattooed on his chest and doesn't work the ground.
I think he was outclassed, man.
I mean,
I think that's one of those overconfident,
Like I got a Game Boy. I play video games all day. Like if you're gonna tattoo, it means something, man. Look, it's right there, big. Hey, I have a big tattoo on my chest too. That hurts. So you go through that pain to put jiu-jitsu on you. I know me some jiu-jitsu too. That's the biggest thing I miss in COVID, rolling around and getting all that training in. Yeah. So I get it, putting that on your chest, but use it. And he got the takedown.
How do you lose with it?
And took Smoker down quick.
And you think you'd fucking like with a Doc Holliday mustache like that? You'd fucking.
That's one thing he does have. That stash.
That's a dope stash.
Yeah, I kind of inspired a little bit by it. I might go that route.
You should give it a shot.
I definitely got that's why I can't grow hair on the top of my head, but the facial I got that game locked. But yeah, it was a good 2-round fight for sure. Smoker hopefully he keeps it together. He's in a tough. Was he 135? Tough division.
Murderers Row.
You got TJ coming back. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, give Smoker.
The fucking snake in the grass.
Let's do Smoker Sugar. Let's do Smoker
Supposedly, it's a little bit off track, but Sugar said he was supposed to get. Who was it? The guy turned him down.
Let's do Smoker Sugar.
I don't know. I wanted to see Sugar and Cruz, but that's Cruz and Kenny now.
Yeah, I'm saying Smoker Sugar is what I want to see. I think that has some fireworks in that fight. He's gonna push. I already picked Sugar in that fight, but he's gonna push him. Smoke's gonna push him. I don't think Sugar obviously proves the fair. He's not ready for the top guys yet.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Next fight was. This is a guy you need to watch. Yeah, Ilya Topuria, Damon Jackson.
I hope I've been more nice than naughty because I got Topuria on my Christmas list. I want him back ASAP.
Man, you've been big on Topuria from the start. Yeah. His first fight was on Fight Island. You were all on him. I was saying he was going to get lit up with Bilal Muhammad, right? Fought Bilal Muhammad. I was all
No, it was the Moroccan Devil. Yusuf Zalal.
Yusuf Zalal. There you go.
Who was fucking awesome as well.
Yeah, I was high on him. I was like, I'm all on him for this fight. I thought Topuria, a great grappler. We knew that for sure. But I saw some holes in that regional level where people were hitting him, and I knew, Yusuf had those strikes. Yusuf's problem was he wanted to go for that high knee too much to the head, but we'll talk about that in a different time.
He's flashy. He's got to tone that shit down.
But Topuria on short notice came in and he just eliminated that guy. Yeah. And I'm like, I need to watch this guy for sure. He did seem to gas a little bit in that fight, so kind of still a little bit wary, but it wasn't a week's notice.
Yeah, but rightfully so. I mean, the pace he set, grappling pace that he set in that fight.
And on a week notice. Like, on 1 week, he's ready to go, and he won that fight. So this fight, I was all on board. Yeah. He was my top guy for the 9K in DraftKings. I knew he'd come out there. Damon Jackson was a good opponent for him because
major upset over Bektik.
But major upset.
Back in September.
He's going to want to grapple, and that's where Topuria's going to want to go. Yeah. So let's go.
But it's like I was telling you, I had a sneaky feeling there was going to be a TKO KO for Topuria.
It happens with two grapplers because they both want to stay out of each other.
So it's quite the opposite of the grappling fest, and it was interesting because it looked like fucking Topuria.
Another Bubba Guts.
Body head. It
was another Bubba Guts event. He was just going straight.
Can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be touched. Although he was touched. Jackson was hitting him there for a bit. So that's another thing his defense is going to need to be if he's going to stand there and bang like that.
He's only 23 years old.
Yeah.
He's only 23 years old. He was born in 1997, which made me cry a little bit inside. The fact that somebody born in 1997.
At least it's not 2000 yet.
I guarantee you some.
There are. Well, how's Chase Hooper?
Yeah, he's 21. He's right there. 99, 2000.
Yeah, fuck.
So they're coming. The 2000s are coming.
But yeah.
Topuria, he's a guy to watch at 155. I don't know who I'd pair him up with next. What do you think?
Ooh, what's this, man? I'd almost want to. Can he make bantamweight?
I don't. That's a big cut, man. That's a huge. He looked small yesterday, but
he looked small up against Jackson.
But Jackson's tall. Jackson's like 6 foot tall at lightweight. So
who can you give him at featherweight? Let's think about who's in that.
Well, he's lightweight, isn't he? 155.
No, this is featherweight.
Oh, first argument of the show.
Featherweight division.
So featherweight 145. Let's look at those rankings real quick. Yeah, Ilya is a name to remember. At 23 years old, he's going to take that UFC by storm. Because
there's some big boys at 145 though. Like those guys are cutting down from 170 plus. Some of those guys, 175 to 145.
Don't bet against Georgia. And I ain't talking about the Peach State.
Look at this.
Featherweight.
Let's give him Jeremy
Stevens. Edson Barboza is 15.
Let's give him Jeremy Stevens.
Whoa. What about Ryan Hall? Who's he fighting?
I want Ryan Hall to fight Zombie. That's what I want.
We got Stevens and Allen coming up, which I think is a good fight.
Okay, so they're already in a fight. Sadiq Youssef has.
So I don't think Topuria gets.
There we go. Let's give him Ige.
Nah, I don't think he's ready for any of these 15.
Oh, come on.
These guys are much bigger than him. That's why I said, like, can he get to bantamweight? I don't know though. He is pretty jacked.
I'd like to see him with Ige.
Ige's a pretty good fighter.
Well, who do you pair him up with in bantamweight?
What about like Son Yadong?
I mean,
Cody Stamen would be good.
How about go Georgia and have him go against Merab?
Yeah,
Merab wants to fight.
God, I don't want to watch Merab fight.
He wants to fight real bad.
I don't like Merab.
But I like him in DraftKings. He gets takedowns left and right.
Not when we played him that 1 week. They didn't count any of those.
Yeah. If you see
1,000 takedowns he had.
If you see Merab on a DraftKings slate, play him no matter what he costs because he's going to take everybody down.
Yeah.
But we can't, if he wants to cut, he wants to cut. But let's say he stays at featherweight. I'd like to see him against a Dan Ige type.
Yeah.
Maybe even Edson Barboza.
Yeah.
Why not? Give him that 15 guy. I don't know if there's anybody underneath there that I really like to see. Bryce Mitchell will be interesting. Some Thug Nasty.
What about Feely? Give him Feely.
Touchy-feely. I mean, that probably is where it goes. Honestly, that's probably where they end up going. Yeah. He kind of plays that gatekeeper to the top 15. Feely's gonna test him for sure. Feely can roll with him on the floor. Feely can strike.
Well, let's see how this see how this Cub Swanson Pineda fight plays out.
Yeah, Cub coming back off that. We'll talk about that too.
We'll talk about that later. But
before we do go off this fight, I put this in my notes. And Damon Jackson, as a fellow balding man, reason why I have all kinds of hats. Yeah. Let it go, man. Come on. What are you doing there?
Yeah, you're looking like you're selling the Hoover vacuums door to door. Come on.
An Enterprise rent-a-car. Yeah. like we need to let go of that.
Don't you dare bring this back with a dent.
You'll look tougher too. You'll look more tough. I think you might be more intimidating. But yeah, let's let that go. I gave up. You should too.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more fight to talk about. My favorite one, the Hoss Fest. The couple of overweight middleweights.
Yeah, battle of the fat middies.
The reason we said both these guys have made their debuts and had many fights at a much lighter weight. John, there we go.
There we go. Get it on it.
Could we look up if we could show the before and after in Jake Collier?
Yeah. And
if you see how ripped and jacked this guy was, I showed it to my fiance yesterday, and she couldn't believe it was the same person.
Are you getting an erection under the table?
A little bit. A little bit. There we go. This was Jake Collier before.
Man.
At 185. This is him now.
Holy shit.
And this was him before.
No way.
That's same dude.
Same guy. It's funny, those guys have matching tattoos, right?
Copy my homework, but just change it a bit.
Yeah.
Change it a lot.
But that being said, he still has that middleweight skill.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't know how that's the same person.
I mean, even the ring girl in the back wants a closer look. She's like digging it.
And he's got like 4 kids. That's she's like, back then.
You got the punk rocky nautical stars on each rib cage.
He's probably, he's from Cuba, Missouri.
I bet he's got a spiked belt at home.
I'm pretty sure Cuba, Missouri is nothing like the actual Cuba.
What do you mean? They don't have Cuban sandwiches?
I don't know. He's called the prototype, and he must be the prototype for self-control.
Yeah. But obviously not.
But he's a good fighter.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's really, really good.
He's technical.
He got caught by Aspinall.
Did he fight Diego?
Tom Aspinall? Who is a world-class
your generic
striker.
Frank Mir.
Tom Aspinall. It was sparring partners with Tyson Fury. So he's a great boxer.
Yeah, he's
great
Aspinall
boxer.
Is a
and
great
he got
boxer.
in there with Collier, his first fight at heavyweight, who's not really a heavyweight. Like when you're that big, you're not really a heavyweight. It's not water. There's not water in there. And Aspinall caught him and knocked him out quick. So everybody thought this guy was a joke. What's he doing? He's way overweight. He got knocked out fast. But John Belante is not the striker that Tom Aspinall is. Tom Aspinall has hopes in the heavyweight division. He can move up that card, and he could be in the top 15, 10, 5, all that run with the age and when he's going up there. So Collier got a bad shake. So a lot of people, he's the prototype. The prototype for self-control. but anyway, Collier was throwing them combos. Like his striking, he was quick, he was crisp, he was on point. He looked like a middleweight in their fight.
And it's almost like I think he could have ended that fight. I think he got in his head a little bit too much when Belante caught him and cut his nose and shit.
Stand there and just hit you one time and hope you fall.
I mean, I was picking Collier from the beginning. I felt this fight had decision written all over it.
I was kind of recency biased with that Collier fight, and I thought there was no way a guy that looks like him can last 3 rounds.
I mean, you look across the ring at Aspinall, 6'5", fucking just monster.
Well, I didn't think that John was going to go that one-shot knockout like Aspinall did, but I thought for sure John. I saw John. Even John's last fight, he was in the 3rd round against Maurice Green. He was gassed for sure, but he got to that 3rd round, right? Yeah. So I thought if he gets to the 3rd round against Jake Collier is going to be winded gas. He'll catch him with one of those punches, and that'll be it. That's what I thought was going to happen in that fight. But Collier was still in it the 3rd round. John Belante had that convenient nut shot that hit him in the gut.
What's so interesting about this is why not stop at light heavyweight?
Well,
why go middleweight straight
John
to
actually wasn't like
heavyweight.
In that bad of shape. John Belante wasn't in that bad of shape. Obviously, he's bigger.
Yeah, but John was fighting at 205.
Right.
But Collier was fighting 185.
Right, no, Collier is a changed person.
He's on the highway. He said, fuck 205. I'm getting off at fucking 265. Like,
I don't know. I mean, he said his hobby's fixing cars.
I heard the biscuits are better there.
Man, a lot of shit on the shingle down there, right? In the biscuits and gravy all day.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if he can get down, even if he doesn't cut down to 205, if he can get down to 240... Maybe 235.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him. There. He could go in the Daukus strategy.
Man, because he is skilled. He is really skilled. And I mean, that's where he gets named the prototype because he is
Who
sharp.
is Chris Daukaus fighting next? Oh, Oleinik. Okay, I say.
I'm pulling for Jake Collier, Parker Porter.
Yeah, you want that.
That's the fight I want. You know I want it. Dana, Shelby, all you guys. That's the fight the world needs
If they're
to
on
see.
Twitter, they know you want it.
They know I want it. I tweeted it out last night. Give me Parker Porter and Jake Collier in the biggest Hoss fight we're going to have ever in UFC.
I like it. I'm down.
Yeah, but it was a fun fight to watch. Again, I was totally blown away by Collier. All the jokes aside, he was sharp in that cage.
Yeah.
And he definitely won that fight for sure.
Yeah.
John Vellante, he might be happy trails soon,
Yeah.
I think. He's already saying he doesn't want to cut down to 205 anymore because he wants to party. That's basically what Felder said on air. He's not really he's got a good wrestling pedigree somewhere buried deep inside, but he never wants to do it. And I think it's somewhere in the lines of Justin Gaethje, where it's tiring.
That shit's fucking tiring.
It is.
You know, 6-minute tournament,
man.
fucking dead afterwards.
6 minute round.
5 minute, whatever it is for us older folks.
We train for 6, but So I don't know what's
for. Fuck the grappling unless you got to do it. Why not? Why do it?
I mean, he'll probably stick around for a few more fights, maybe be that low level gatekeeper, but I don't know. I could see him doing something if he trims down a little bit.
Yeah,
I could really see it.
I don't understand why he didn't play around at 205 first.
I almost feel like
maybe he feels like his
many beasts at 205.
There's a lot of athleticism at 205, like Rockets and all those, Johnny Walkers and shit.
But if you had to say the weakest division, what do you think it'd be?
Light heavyweight.
Right, 205.
Yeah.
And if you go to 265, you're facing the Aspinalls, the low-level guys.
Yeah.
What happens when you get Rosenstruck? Biggie Boy is in there, or Derek Lewis, or Francis Ngannou. Those guys hit you, they change your life. Stipe's eye is still not right, and he won that fight.
Yeah.
So there's consequences at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Whereas at light heavyweight, there's not that top dog. But we'll see what goes forward. Maybe he wins a couple fights, get some confidence in him. Maybe it's a confidence issue. Maybe something happened in his personal life that he's lost it. He did come in better shape for this fight, though. To be fair, too, he came in for better shape.
I think mentally as well, not just physically. Right.
He looked better.
He looked like he wanted to be there, and he had confidence that he should be there. Yeah. Whereas Aspinall, you didn't see any of that.
He definitely looks like an internet troll in that picture, though. He's got the comments right now, fucking talking shit.
Well, do you guys want to talk about the upcoming?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, first we got to talk about the hits and the hangovers. So we had our whiskey and wagers.
So if you guys follow us on Twitter at In the Guard 1, every Friday after the weigh-ins, we'll post in our favorite bets, whether we see something we like, whether it's a favorite, a dog, a parlay, any kind of prop, anything that we see, we'll post it on there. So follow us on Twitter, and you can kind of see what we say. And my whiskey and wagers this week, and we also say what we're sipping.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into vodka and vouchers, or gin and gambles, whatever floats your fucking boat. But we're doing whiskey around
here. I don't agree with that statement. We're doing whiskey and wagers. It sounds better. Men drink whiskey, all right?
Booze and beer and bets, whatever.
Or just bet, all right? If you don't want to drink whiskey, just bet and drink some water. That's okay.
But whiskey and wagers for us.
Water and wagers for you if you want. But
Pussy.
So we going over what we did. My lock of the night was Jordan Levitt. We kind of talked about the monkey slam.
Yeah, we shared the lock of the night.
Yeah, he coined the monkey slam last night. Yeah. Got that done. My favorite dog got wiped out. The Landwehr fight, COVID won. COVID got him, but I really like Landwehr in that fight. Yeah. So if that does happen again, I think they're washing it away. I don't think it's going to happen.
Unfortunately, if you told me, mine literally got wiped out. Fucking OSP.
Which was a good pick, though, honestly. He's a vet. We didn't know what Hill was going to see against that level of competition. And I had a parlay on there, a three-leg parlay that would have hit if you did it at plus 155, which is basically if you bet $100, you get 155 back.
Yeah.
So, I had the Georgian duo of Tapuria and Doladize, and then I threw in Jordan Levin with that, so that went through as well. So
you got a plus 155 on that.
Yeah. So it was a nice parlay. I threw a couple side parlays, didn't really work out, but prop bets, and we'll throw it all in that whiskey and wagers. Just follow us with that, along with our picks, our heads up picks. We'll put on there. We had a good night with that too. I was 6-2. I lost to Justin James. I thought I fell for the story. And I went with John Vellante because obviously all the jokes I had for Collier, that's my thoughts going to my picks. Yeah. And so I had to get those out because he screwed me over.
Yeah, and you literally won up me. 5-3 straight picks for the night. My parlay got wiped out due to the brick. Yeah. The brick fight being off, so I had Dolidze and Jimmy Flick in a parlay. A little bit on the risky side, but it got you plus 133.
Much better week than last week.
Yeah.
So, how much did you bet? How much did you win and lose?
Ooh.
So, I can go over the number there. Off the top of my head, I don't really know.
Because we all want to know the fine numbers.
So
here.
I profited $18 last night off $9. I've been playing small, so I doubled my money.
So, see, what threw off it, a couple bets that I kind of saw on the night, and I took and paid off for me. One was Louis Smolka by TKO.
Yeah, we both had that.
We laid that down. At $25, I won $175 on that one, so that kind of like covered my night.
Yeah.
So I kind of played around with that a little bit. And another one we both had, we kind of talked about together, went in, was the first fight go the distance.
Go to
Collier
distance.
and Monte go to distance.
And I also jumped on the main event. Hermanson go to decision.
My biggest loss of the night that came really close to it, and I had a 4-person finish parlay with, first off, I had Tapuria, I had Levitt, and then I had Smolka, the fourth one being Doladize, who was the biggest favorite out of the group, who had finished every single fight he's ever fought in his life. Yeah. Had a heel hook locked in round one. I doubled down with submission bet for that. It was like plus 655 too. So that didn't come through. If that would have came through, it was like a $20 bet that would have netted me like $500. So, but other than that, I had a couple of, I call them Hail Mary parlays, where I put $5 and I'll just try to pick every fight that I think is going to happen. Yeah. And obviously, by my picks, I was 6-2. I did not hit every.
Yeah, and obviously, we're betting off our bankrolls.
Right.
Mike's bankroll a little bit larger than mine. Why I play smaller bets than Mike's.
Well, so honestly, like you'll see some of my Hail Mary parlays where I'm laying down $5 and they can come back with like $100,000 if you do it right. Like
parlays I would never suggest more than $5 on
right.
parlay.
Like something like it's totally a Hail Mary just for fun, shits and giggles. That $5 that
Hey, I could retire.
Bars are closed, so I can't pay for drinks, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically. I would not put any serious money. If it's a serious bet where I'm going to put some coin into, you'll see it on Whiskey and Wagers.
Yeah,
for sure. And then maybe if throughout the night we do tweet in the guard at Twitter during the fights. If I see a prop that I'm gonna drop, we'll throw it on. We'll throw it on there too as well. We'll live.
Yeah, watch the live stuff too. If you really know a fighter who kicks off in the third, fourth round, if you see like in live wagering, okay, so plus 300, your guy's gonna take off in the fourth or fifth.
Right.
Go for it. Yeah,
And sometimes
read body language, read all that stuff.
Sometimes too, it's the best bet. Like I said, it's something like we just bet that first fight to go distance.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really know who was going to win that fight. We thought it'd finish there, over, under the round type. So, again, we will put all that on Twitter as we see it, as it comes along. We can follow us for that. But, yeah, that's how we went last night. DraftKings, we also play that as well. We put on Twitter, we'll rank our top high price options and our top, underdogs, lower price guys that we see. I did pretty well outside the big boy tournament. It was a crazy night with all the fights being canceled with DraftKings. The card went down from 11 to 8. So, like, a lot of people had the same people. So, like, it wasn't – like, the top tournament, you're supposed to take home $100,000 for first place. It got chopped up so much. Like, I think it was like $1,700 for the first place. So, you pick all the right shit and you got $1,700. And some people will play the maximum lineups.
Yeah, say you played 150 lineups at $18 each. You put it in 2,700 and won 1,700. If you place first.
You won the biggest tournament on there.
You fucking ate 1,000 last night.
When COVID crushed that card DraftKings wise.
I mean, I think at this point we need to contact DraftKings and be able to roster fucking COVID-19. Yeah, it should be 9,800 or 10,000. It should be 10,000 for COVID-19.
Or maybe pull out before lock.
Yeah.
They don't want that though. Pull out before lock.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how the night went bets wise. Cool. Good night. It was a good night. It was a positive night. Anytime you put money into gambling and you walk away more, you did all right.
Yeah.
Because the house usually wins.
Or it gets it eventually. If you're an addict.
You're looking for 53%.
Don't be an addict.
You're looking for 53% on your hits, guys. You want to be a good gambler, 53%.
All right. Now, upcoming UFC 256. Now this card,
if it stays locked in, is a banger from top to bottom. Even the prelims. We're going to focus a little bit more on the main card because it's so stacked.
There's just so much to talk about. We could spend hours talking about this fucking card.
The whole from top. If this all gets locked in and stays in, I'm going to be locked in my
fingers
seat.
Crossed.
It is my son's birthday on Saturday. I'm going to ignore him during
which one?
Jackson. Jackson's turning 6.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So I'll see him in the morning once the card starts. So you're on your own, kid. Anyway, no, actually, he does watch it with me. He stayed up all night with me last night and watched the main event and everything. Yeah, he was pumped. But starts off with last month's main event. Last man.
We got Figgy back.
The God of War, Davison Figueiredo, who just seems like he's the world beater at 125. Like I don't see anybody beat him anytime soon.
He's a complete package there at that 125 pound. He's
made
the division exciting again.
I wish he crossed paths with either Cejudo or Mighty Mouse. and Cejudo might happen. I don't know if Cejudo wants to cut that weight again. Because right now, I think the rest of that division is okay.
I don't think Cejudo gets enough credit. He's a monster. It's fucking well.
With flyweight right now, like from 2 to 10, they're all awesome and really close and tight knit, and they're competitive. But Davidson's there.
Yeah. What a fun division. Like, just to think it was on the cusp
of being
cut.
Of being gone.
One of my favorite divisions.
I think
watch.
3 to 5 years from now, it might be the best division. It might be with the young guys that are in there and the guys that are coming through.
Yeah.
And Davison will probably still be on it. I think 3 to 5 years now, he might still have that title. But if he's still on that run and those guys develop, it's going to turn into that 155 like it is now. You know, it's including Brandon Moreno. Now Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, we got the Assassino Bebe.
Yeah,
he's baby assassin for my English speakers.
Yeah, there you go. He's going to bring the fight to Davison. Yeah. He's not going to back down. The best thing about these flyweight fights, they don't stop moving. It's strike, grapple, scramble, takedown, get up. It's nonstop action for that fight. Davison seems to have more power than everybody at that division for sure. When he hits those guys, they go out. You know, I love me some Joe Benavidez, but we'll talk about that every time Davison comes around because they're like the rivalry at that division. When he would hit Benavidez, it was like his world changed.
But what's more heart-wrenching than in 2020 and people like COVID, but to have to witness Megan O'Leary watch poor Joe B get smashed twice.
The runner-up. That should be his new nickname, the runner-up.
Like, I just felt so bad, you know? Like, you can't even watch Fight Island Declassified, you know? It's like, damn. But...
Well, it sucks because Joe's such a good guy.
Yeah, Joe's awesome.
The guy you want to cheer for. He's the one you want to win. Which Davison looks like a serial killer, monster, bad guy in a movie, but he's actually a really cool guy too.
Yeah, nice guy. He's a sushi. He's all those things we talked about last week.
He's so vicious in that cage. You think he's a terrible person.
He's got that one thing you can't teach, and that's that killer instinct. Like, you go there and it's a fight to him. It's a fight. It's like the Cowboy Cerrones. Well, it's like the Fabers of old. It's like those people go to fight. They're not point fighting. I think
that's the most underrated skill in fighting. Not being tough, not your striking, not your grappling. Your willing and your ability to put a beating on somebody. Yeah. Like, you're putting somebody in the hospital possibly. You're hurting a human being that really has done nothing wrong to you.
And I get the argument. You know, you're in this sport for longevity. But you're going to make more. You don't need the longevity when you're making that Conor McGregor money by showing up and fucking people up.
I don't believe that. I think Dana White said the best. This is not a career. It's an opportunity.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a.
You only need 1 or 2.
Right. You just got to get it while you're there and get out of there.
Yeah.
But going in, I am heavy on Davidson. I don't think Moreno stands a chance.
There's one thing I want to run by you, though, is the weight cut. You know it's a harder weight cut for Figgy. And to do that...
He looked amazing last week.
Yeah, but damn, he's got to do it again.
But so did Moreno.
How much weight did he gain before he knew he had to fight again? Maybe he already knew.
He kind of said it during the post-fight interview. I'm ready to go again. You know, give me Moreno. He kind of said it right away. So maybe not the day of, but like within days of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I like Moreno. I think Moreno is an awesome fighter, but I think this comes down to physicality and killer instinct, and just Figgy's gonna. I don't think it's gonna look any different than the last 2 fights. To be honest with you.
Yeah, like,
I think Moreno's gonna scramble a little bit more.
Can we get Cejudo back? Can we Henry Cejudo back to fight Davison Figueiredo?
Yeah, but let's get Cejudo at bantam.
But then that's his. Bantam's not really his title.
Figgy fights at bantam too, though.
But that's not really his title.
No, this isn't mine here.
Flyweights, you mix me up.
Yeah, let's mix.
Flyweights is not Cejudo's title, but I would love to see Cejudo's wrestling against Davison. Davison's really aggressive. I don't think he's gonna be able to run up on Henry Cejudo like that.
But man, I am biased to Figgy. I love watching him work that single leg X.
Yeah.
Davison Garcia.
He's got glue in his armpits. He wraps his arm around you. You're going to get choked out. I mean, look at his last 2 fights. Quick, fast. I get my arms around you. You're not slipping out. I'm gonna get it early, so you're not sweaty. There's no one helping you getting that head loose.
Yeah.
But Moreno's gonna stand there. He's gonna bang with him.
Yeah, but Moreno's the guy you just want to root for, man. Such a likable guy.
Well, and plus he's got that Mexican fighting style.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put my foot in that tire. I'm gonna stand in front of you. I'm just gonna hit.
Yeah, we're gonna box.
Yeah, we're gonna go. I'm gonna give it right at you.
Yeah.
He's gonna give him. He's got a fighter's chance. I think he's got a better shot than what's his name we had last month. I forget his name now.
But it's almost like, hey, Moreno, you're gonna take
this show.
Perez.
He's got a much better shot than Perez.
Yeah, but it's like, now you're going to take this fight. It's only, 3 weeks out. You could have just took it last. Like, how much can you improve now to fight Figgy from 3 weeks? You know, it's like you should have just took that opportunity.
Random side note, he kind of looks like Benicio del Toro, doesn't he?
Kind of looks like the Mexican Mickey Mouse.
But yeah, the babyface assassin. He's gonna be vicious. He's gonna attack, but I think that's gonna play against him. I think that's gonna feed right into Figgy's game. He's gonna either catch him or he's gonna wrap him up and choke him out.
What do you say he wouldn't be opposed to changing his nickname to something? Oh, the Mexican McLovin.
Yeah, that's what he said, right? That's what he wanted it to be, right? Yeah.
Oh, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, that's what he said too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He's like he would not be opposed to it.
But
yeah, I think
he's not really babyface. Yeah, I don't think that works for him.
I'm going Davis, and I think he gets it done in round one.
I think
round one.
Sorry, not interesting TV, everybody. We're not arguing about this one. Davidson all day.
Yeah.
This next one, maybe we're gonna argue a little bit. You know who I'm going with? Mr. Tony Ferguson, El Kukui himself.
Yeah.
This is a very, very interesting fight. I was talking about it before we started rolling. It's like the Spider-Man meme.
This is like going to be better than your wet dreams. This fight.
This is basically Tony Ferguson versus Tony Ferguson. They are the same type.
Yeah.
They have world-class jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, this is parallel universes coming together.
They can bang with you, too. It's going to be a war. Tony Ferguson does not have boring fights.
Oh.
So he's going to force it. And Charles
so there's Charles Oliveira, 6-fight win streak. He's been a decision twice.
Right.
Any other fight he's finishing or he's getting finished.
Too. He's not fighting cupcakes.
These guys are going to come at each other. They're going to meet in the center and they're going to go. I see Oliveira coming out with some flashy stuff. I'm going to see some scrambles. And at first I thought, when I first saw this fight come out, I was like, I think this is Oliveira's time. He's going to get it. But the more I think about it, while I watched that Kevin Lee fight a lot. And I see Oliveira can put himself in some bad spots sometimes. And you do that with Ferguson, he's going to snatch up your neck. Right. He's going to darce you. He's going to anaconda you. He's
the thing with Tony, too. If you get him down, he's going to be throwing elbows from the bottom that hurt, that cut. Do you want to go into that guard? Yeah. And at the man, he is, student of Eddie Bravo. He's the world-class jiu-jitsu. He's got that black belt, that ghetto choke.
Motherfucker throws sand.
Man. and he loves this. Like, he lives to fight.
Yeah.
That's what
he's
he
fucking
loves.
El Kukui. He's the boogeyman,
That's
dude.
the perfect nickname.
He's the boogeyman.
Ever for a fighter. He is awesome. I'm going Tony Ferguson with their play.
My thing is...
I think he's going to finish him in the second round.
But he took a beating to Gaethje.
A long time ago. Like, he's not time to cover.
You would think he'd have red hair, or he was a stepchild from the beating that he took.
He got his ass again. He kind of got the Hermanson treatment in that fight though too, where he had to switch opponents, totally different style, totally different game plan going in there. He didn't even bring his striking coach with him to that fight. Yeah. He had Eddie Bravo because he thought it was going to be a grappling match.
Yeah, and you heard Eddie Bravo in the corner. Excellent boxing, Tony. Like,
yeah.
What?
Well, Eddie
what fight are you watching?
Eddie said on the Rogan podcast, I didn't know what to do. I'm there. I'm a ground coach. I was there because we thought it was going to be a ground fight.
Obviously.
I'm just trying to be supportive of him,
Yeah.
But so... Again, Tony Ferguson. Let's not forget how great this guy is. Don't get recency bias.
I think Oliveira, his time came and went.
Maybe if not,
I don't know. Like, or this could be the coming out party. I don't know.
I'll put it this way: Oliveira has a way better shot at beating Ferguson than Moreno has at beating Figueiredo.
Agreed.
Way better.
100%.
I'd say that one's 80-20. This one's 60-40.
Yeah, 55-45.
Even that.
I'm going Ferguson.
We're splitting hairs. I'm going Ferguson too. But if I pick that one wrong, I'm not gonna be surprised.
I think Ferguson grabs his neck in a scramble. That's my prediction. You think? I think it's a submission.
I think he hits him with some crazy back spinning elbow.
Yeah.
Some weird angle, maybe when that step forward, uppercut elbow that he throws sometimes.
I could see
something like that.
Oliveira's got that flashy shit too, though.
Or we could see something similar to the Cowboy fight where it's a doctor stoppage. Where Oliveira doesn't quit or get knocked out, but he has some weird cut that you can't go on no more. But I'm definitely going Ferguson.
Yeah,
this one.
we both got Ferguson on that one.
I can't wait to see that one. That's the fight I really want to see on the card. That one, and actually this one coming up next too. This one,
I think I know we're at odds on this next one.
This is the undercut. This is the undercover fight of the night coming right here.
This could be this is going to be a banger.
So Moicano, he's the one that had COVID, right?
Yes.
So how's that going to factor into it? We know. Like some people are cool. Some people
are like, I don't fucking care. They get mutated by it.
We just don't know. Rafael Fiziev, I am all on board with him. He does not throw anything soft.
Yeah. I mean, Raphael Reeves, he's from The Matrix, dude.
Yeah.
He showed that last fight. He's the fucking head coach in Tiger Muay Thai Phuket.
Yeah.
Moicano, his stand-up style is Muay Thai as well. So if he tries to play that game with Raphael, it's not gonna go well. But I think Moicano is the more well-rounded fighter. I think he's got
happening at? One's at
145 should be. I think the key here is Macchiano's got to close the distance. He's got to get the takedowns. He has a submission advantage.
Right.
But if he chooses to stand there in front of Raphael, he's going to sleep. I don't trust his chin. But when it comes to competition, Moicano's fought the better competition. You know, he's been in the division. He's proven himself. He's a little chinny of late. And, you know, like, I just don't see Moicano being like Diakese standing in front of Rafael to do like a striking.
Well, Rafael's going to go and try to hunt. He's going to try to hunt. He's not going to sit there and play any games. He's not going to go feel up here. He's going out there. He's going to try to hunt for heads. And again, I had Fiziev before this fight got canceled last time, and then coming off the COVID, I'm doubling down on him. I think he's going to knock him out.
I just think if you give Rafael more to think about than just striking, how is he going to react? So if Moicano comes out here and mixes it up,
well, maybe not jiu-jitsu, but he is coming from Kazakhstan. There is sambo out there. There's grappling out there for sure. Obviously, we all know that area is big on wrestlers and grapplers and stuff like that. So he's not a stranger to people trying to take him down and wrestle him to the ground and things like that. So it's not going to be like something new to him. And again, watch tape on Rafael Fiziev. He throws heat, legs, fists, everything, and it's gonna pop. I think it's gonna pop Moicano and take him out. I'm gonna say first round. I say first round KO.
How you sit down with balls that big?
Ataman? Not really sure what that means.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't speak Kazakhstan or whatever it is.
Can you do that in a Borat voice?
Ataman. It's very nice.
How much?
They probably hate Borat.
Yeah.
No, they probably don't even know it's out.
Yeah.
They probably don't even know that's out.
I think it's like Ataman, like Attaboy. Ataman. Yeah. But he's like, don't disrespect me with the boy shit. I didn't grow this beard to be called a fucking boy. I'm going Moicano. I think Moicano gets it done decision.
He is the taller fighter.
Yeah, how's that Muay Thai in transition?
More experience, you know.
Coming off COVID.
He's been mutated, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen Deadpool? You see what they did to Wade Wilson? It's the kind of same shit. Some people get mutated by it, some don't.
Mutation doesn't always mean positive though.
Could though. Yeah, I got Moicano on that one. What do we got next? We may be at odds on this one too.
This one, yeah, we're definitely at odds. I mean, I sound like I dragged Kevin Holland in our breakdown of the card last night. Kevin Holland's definitely on the rise. Kind of different fighter of the year, 2020. Would this be his fifth fight?
Yeah.
Fifth fight?
He's been active. He's getting them paydays.
His big knock is he has not fought anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, except for Buckley. He did knock out Joaquin Buckley. The knockout of 2020, the reverse heel kick, backflip, whatever you want to call it.
He fought Darren Stewart.
Yeah. Which he might have lost that fight.
The dentist.
He might have lost that fight.
I went back and watched it. It was close.
You could argue.
What do you value more, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he could argue that Stewart won that. Wasn't it a split decision too?
Yeah.
So it was a split
and
decision.
he even said it. He's like, Stewart won that fight. I didn't win that fight.
Back. Yeah. So I mean, Holland is on the rise. He's on fire right now. He's like we talked about earlier. He is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Does not seem to want to use it. He likes to sit there and throw. Jacare's a legend.
In Jacare, you know, the grip of a gator, the strangles, the proven jiu-jitsu. You know, he's good everywhere the fight is. But how much is this age going to play a factor into this?
Souza, one of the greatest grapplers in MMA history.
Yeah.
Like top 10 grappler MMA history. So that kind of works in the Kevin Holland's game plan where he doesn't want to go down there anyway and throw with him. Souza, world class. We kind of talked about Souza earlier in his fight against Hermanson.
Yeah.
But 40 years old. 40 years old.
I think we're going to find out a lot.
We just saw Anderson Silva at 40 years old, who's one of the greatest fighters of all time, and he looked like a soup can.
Kevin Holland's going to have to keep the range.
81.
He's got a 9-inch reach advantage.
9. That's huge.
But he has a disadvantage in the leg reach.
By an inch. I mean,
us fucking humans, man.
That's not. He's 6'3".
Yeah.
To 6'1". He's bigger, younger.
I'm going Souza on this one. I think the experience is going to pay off here. I think Holland's going to learn from it. He's going to come out of it much, much better. But I think Souza's going to get it done. I think he's going to work the body. He's going to close the distance, work the body, get some takedowns, get on top.
It's funny because I think this next fight we're going to flip the script on what we're saying. But I'm going to go with Kevin Holland by knockout over Souza. And no disrespect to Souza, the legend, but I just don't. 40-year-old fighters don't go too far.
I got Souza.
Not everybody's Glover Teixeira.
I got Souza.
And
all right.
With the kickoff of the main card. Two big bruisers.
So now you want to take the vet. I
will argue this vet's not 40 years old. This vet just beat a top 5 fighter.
I just think you have something for initials or something like JDS.
JDS. No, I'm a big. I'll JDS was one of the top guys when I've really gotten in MMA. Like,
the
rise of the early 2000s.
He was back with Cain Velasquez era,
you know. Cain Velasquez battles. He was the coach on Ultimate Fighter, stuff like that. So I got a kind of a soft spot for Junior Dos Santos, but it's not like he has really fallen off. He had some losses lately, but they're against top guys. He's lost to Francis Ngannou, Rosenstruck, and I believe Curtis Blades, was it?
Yeah.
So that's nothing to sniff at. He did just recently beat Derek Lewis. He's like 1-3, and his win was Derek Lewis, who you had beating Curtis Blades last week.
Oh yeah, flying knee.
So he knocked
Sorry,
Derek
you guys
Lewis,
you missed that because it was gonna happen.
So he knocked Derek Lewis out. Versus Cyril Gane, who's 6-0, has not fought anybody near the level of Junior Dos Santos. Not even close. And I don't think Santos has fallen off. Yeah, so I mean, the people he's losing to are the top 5 of the heavyweight division. He beat Bam Bam too, right? He beat Bam Bam to Ivasa. Beat Ivan. He's not losing a step.
Yeah.
Like he's losing a guy that anybody would lose.
Blagoy Ivanov looks like the restaurant owner below my apartment complex.
And he does have a win over Stipe. He's one of the few people, the only person active in UFC has a win over Stipe Miocic.
The Reem.
Yeah, the Reem. Look at the people he's losing. Like his fights are.
Yeah, he's fought the who's who of the heavyweight.
There it is.
Yeah, and he's what? He's 2-1 against Velasquez, or is it 1-1?
No, he's 1-2.
1-2.
1-2. He beat Hunt. So Junior Santos has fought everybody. Now Cyril Gane, and this is again. I got hit up in the comments last one talking bad about Conor. I'm not talking bad about Conor right now, so I know all you stands out there are going to flip on me. But Gane kind of fights like Conor McGregor. If you watch the way he stands, that open, that front stance, arms are low, kind of waits for that. If he puts his arms down against Junior Dos Santos, Junior Santos is going to knock him out.
See, I think this fight does not have highlight all over it. I think this is going to be you're going to probably want to go to take a nap. I think it's going to be a lot slower pace. I think Cyril Gane is going to outpoint JDS. It's going to be a safe fight. He's going to stay on the outside.
Gane is only 6-0 though, man. The guy
he had a lot of Muay Thai.
He's very green. He's got a lot of Muay Thai.
If you look up film on Cyril Gane, most of his fights, French fella.
He's got submission threat.
That's what I should call him, the French fella. But
you sure that's what you want to call him?
He's light. He's light on his feet. He bounces around. If you see the way he stands, and then go watch Conor McGregor fight, it's a very similar, really heavy on that front foot, open stance, arms are low, and he likes to counter. He sits there. I'm going to sit there and counter you.
I think this is one I like to look at from a business perspective. Yeah. I think the UFC wants Cyril Gane. He's the next big thing. JDS is kind of.
They're testing him with Junior.
Yeah, he's gonna get that win. This is gonna be.
Can we title this episode "Gatekeeper"?
This is Hill. This is Hill versus OSP.
Right.
This is what this shit is.
But Junior Dos Santos has been to the mountaintop. OSP has not.
Yeah, JDS is way more threatening than OSP.
Right. And
again, give him initials.
Right.
If you want to enter all gatekeepers are initials.
I am going with Junior Dos Santos. Cyril Gane, the fights I've watched him fight, he likes to let you try to counterpunch. The hands of Junior Dos Santos are some of the best that MMA has ever seen. He's one of the best MMA boxers ever.
I'm gonna take Cyril Gane by decision.
I'm going Junior Dos Santos by
in a fight combined under 100 significant strikes. You heard it here first.
In the decision? That's bold. Cyril Gane is athletic, very athletic. He's an active heavyweight. He's not a typical heavyweight that's going to sit there and throw one. He throws ones and twos, and he does throw combinations in his striking. Like I say, he's a Muay Thai fighter. He has more Muay Thai fights than MMA fights.
I think they throw combined about 35 significant strikes around.
I think it's going to be under 100 strikes too, but not because it went to decision. If it goes to decision, I think it's going to be above that.
Nah. Yeah, I got Cyril.
I'm going JDS second round TKO.
What do we got next?
Undercard prelim.
Oh, I think we didn't want to touch too much on this. I think we both had a fight we wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah, we the biggest highlight. There's two actually really good fights. Cub Swanson and Daniel Pineda are two guys that kind of were on the outs of the UFC and kind of fought.
I think this is a little bit of disrespect to Cub Swanson. I think he still deserves mid-tier division.
He just came out that big knee injury though too.
Yeah, his Cubby.
Was it Jake Shields he got him? It was in a grappling competition. I'm sure they blew his knee out.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was in a grappling competition. His knee got blown out. That's why he's been out for so long. His last fight was Crone Gracie.
Yes.
Crone Gracie's the toughest man I've ever seen in a fight in my life. He just kept
just punch me. Punch me.
But the real fight we really want to highlight is Dern and Jandiroba. Jandiroba, I call her the Frankenstein of UFC. She looks like a monster in there. She just is built.
So would you say Beauty and the Beast here?
Yes, that's definitely where we go with. But Mackenzie Dern has history of beating Frankenstein's monsters. She has rolled with what's her name out there in ADCC with the grappling tournament, Gabby
Garcia.
Gabby Garcia,
Yeah.
and she won. So if this goes to the ground, I'm giving it to Mackenzie Dern. I just don't know.
But I think there's a difference between MMA grappling and
Mackenzie Dern's undefeated, right?
Undefeated.
Is she undefeated?
No, she lost to Hebos.
She's a one loss.
And I think Hebos is more athletic than Verna Jandaroba, but I think Verna Jandaroba is a black belt. And I think Jandaroba is going to be on the level enough with Dern when it comes to MMA grappling to stay out of bad spots. She's not going to be fucking Ronda Marcos, and she's not going to be Hannah Cyphers and go into bad spots with Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah, don't go into her guard.
Oh, hey, let me just drop into your guard. Yeah, I just don't think that's going to happen. I think the physicality of Verna Jandaroba is going to play a factor in this, and I think she knows. There's black belts, and then hey, there's black belts, and obviously if you have
a Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu outfit on, and you're going against Mackenzie Dern
because you go sports jiu-jitsu, you go fucking no gi. There's levels, there's differences, right? And then there's MMA jiu-jitsu that's different from no gi and gi jiu-jitsu. I think. Obviously, if you were to put these two in an ADCC rule, Mackenzie Dern's going to, no time limit submission's going to fucking smoke her. Yeah. But when you got somebody on top of you with the physicality
and I'm actually in agreement. I'm just trying to be an asshole with you.
Of Jandaroba.
Jandaroba, I think she has title contention in her future. She is a beast. Like you said, she does have that grappling.
And right now,
she hits fucking hard, man.
Yeah,
hard.
She's got the physicality over Dern.
Absolutely. There's a lot of great technical strikers in the female ranks, but there's very few that you hit and you feel.
This is like you
got the Bullet, you got Nunes, you got these strikers that Kayla Harrison, but you have these strikers that are Chris. Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit in that strawweight fight.
It's 2020, and you're wanting the women coming into the special forces. You want Jandaroba on the Navy SEAls. She's got the physicality. She can pass the test.
I think she's a star in the making. I'd like to see her. Getting there with the top. She'll get there. I think she's going to take out Mackenzie. I don't know how Mackenzie's actually ranked higher than her. I guess maybe it's been there longer.
I just think it's a bad matchup.
She's the one
I think Mackenzie Dern needs a big jiu-jitsu advantage.
Jiu-jitsu like this fringe sport. Mackenzie Dern's one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. Yeah. Like she's one of the best. I'm not going to argue who the greatest is, but she's on that level. She's one of the top.
But you watch enough MMA and it's like
it's not the same.
If you can stay out of trouble,
right.
If you know enough to have like submission defense,
right,
and you can stay out of trouble and you can drop elbows and punches, it's a totally different sports. It's why Eddie Bravo was like, hey, let's get his new shit,
right? The
combat jiu-jitsu.
So that's why she's in every fight. It's kind of like they're like a guy with a heavy right hand or a girl with a heavy right hand, whatever it means. Somebody that's a knockout puncher is in every fight because they have that power punch. She's in every fight.
Well, this is the thing. Like,
I
don't think Verna Jandaroba is leaps and bounds a better striker than Mackenzie Dern.
Harder.
But her physicality. I just look at the physicality of it. Like I'm like, this is
again, if we're putting headgear on and pads, Mackenzie Dern maybe can win striking with her. But if we're just going and brawling with those little small gloves, Jandaroba hits hard.
I think an MMA fight this favors Jandaroba. I think Jandaroba wins, and you can get. I think you can get Jandaroba dog money right now if you.
If that's the case. We're going to find out who my dog is for next week. Check out Whiskey and Wasters this Friday.
Yeah. I think we're both going to be on
that. We're Jandaroba, and we'll see what she is on DraftKings, too. We'll see that, too. But
let's see if we can take a look.
Because I honestly think she's a star in the making.
Yeah. And a lot of people are on Dern, but I don't know. I think Jandaroba takes it.
Dern is the one that if you're a little bit less of a hardcore fan of MMA, you're going to remember. You're going to know Mackenzie Dern because she's a little bit more known. Jandaroba's on up and coming, and she's only really fought like on smaller cards, too, right?
Yes.
And she's only been undercard.
She just beat. Who did she just beat? Who did she just beat? Jandaroba? I can't remember who she just beat.
Let's look that up. Who's this on the UFC?
So you can get.
She went on Fight Island.
Yeah, you can get Jandaroba at plus 140 right now on DK Sportsbook.
All day. Nail that. Pound that in right now.
Yeah.
I'm going on Jandaroba.
I took it. I got it in a parlay actually, but I'm going to take her straight as well.
Yeah. The next fight is off. That's actually
we've got.
Robinson's going to fight.
I think we got a worse outing for Jillian Robertson. I liked her better against KGB.
Jillian Robinson.
Again, Santos physical, man.
Jillian Robinson, we'll talk about that when she fights Santos. But she likes to get herself in bad positions all the time.
And then you got...
This one is going to be a fun.
Tiny Tornado versus Overkill. Good
rematch.
Fight. Good fight. This is going to be a technical good fight. Like, if you like technical striking and you like... This is a good fight to watch.
Listen, and I love me some Angela Hill. She's awesome. She's cool. Her grandfather is actually like one of the most infamous like alien abduction stories of all time. I forget his name. Like he was driving with his wife and like their car got abducted. Whatever. That's just great. I mean, we'll do a conspiracy podcast another day. But Angela Hill, like she has that lineage and she's just an awesome person.
Yeah, she's got a great personality. She's a gamer. She's so cool.
I've never had a bad performance.
The judges fucking hate her for some reason.
So your best bet, anytime you see Angela Hill on the card, and she'll probably agree with you.
Lose by decision. Unless she finishes the fight.
Right. But she mostly goes to decision, and she mostly gets screwed over when those decisions are screwed over or loses the tight one, whatever it may be. Teshatora actually beat her by decision one time. It's going to be a stand-up striking match. Yeah. It's going to look like a Muay Thai fight.
And Torres, very good. You know, she's another gatekeeper of that division. Like, she's fought the who's who.
If she knocks
competitive
off Angela
versus
Hill, though, she
Weili.
can bump up a little bit. Yeah, she looked she rocked Weili a few times.
She's a little spitfire.
Yeah, Weili Zhang. If anybody wants to look up Weili Zhang, first watch her versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I know I said that wrong.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Totally sober, I can't say it, and I got a little bit of Warbringer in me. But like, you know who Joanna is. She's one of those one-name people.
Yeah, JJ.
And then watch her versus Tesha Torres.
Yeah.
Yes, early in her career, but Torres had her rocked, had her on her heels in that fight.
Ain't none of them touching Thug Rose. That's my girl, Thug Rose.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Unless a dolly through a bus window.
Yeah. Unless you're Dolly.
Oh, man. Hair to the comments.
Yeah, we can kind of roll through these. I don't want to touch on them too much.
Yeah, there's none of them that really...
Billy Q.
Probably of all these fights, the best one's going to be that Tucker and Billy Q fight.
Yeah.
Quarantillo's a fun fighter. Tucker's a badass, too.
I think Spivak takes it to Vandera.
I don't know about that fight. I'm not going to judge. Chase Hooper, Ben Askren's son. Yeah. Funky Jr. That's the one we're talking about, who I think was born in the year 2000. I could be a little bit off.
I want to see what the line is, Peter Barrett. I think I like Peter Barrett.
I don't like Peter Barrett. He walks out with sunglasses, a mullet, and he has like a denim.
I think that Jingling Grant fight will be good. Jingling, but I like Jingling in that fight.
Peter Barrett is basically like one of the bad guys from Harold and Kumar. That's basically what he is.
Damn, now I want some White Castle. Yeah. Jalapeno cheese sliders.
On the way home. Cheat day. No, but there's none of these fights really do stand out to me. That's probably means they're gonna be the fight of the night, one of them, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think this whole card is gonna be fucking wall to wall.
Right. I think, but once it gets that Quarantillo fight and Tucker fight, that's when you're going to watch. Make sure you see that one. The rest of them you can probably check on replay when they come around.
All right. Well, we're looking at that. Now we want to move on to some of the cuts. UFC announced
cry now or cry later?
The soldier of God. Forget for Jesus. Forget for Jesus.
Yeah. You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. So Yoel Romero, frig this guy.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Okay, he's apparently 45.
Well, that's what he says, but he's probably
55. He's probably 55. Look at the way that guy looks. He is the freak of nature. Great wrestler, Olympic wrestler, right?
Yeah.
Wars.
Cuban freestyle.
Silver medalist in the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah.
Wars with Robert Whittaker. Never quite got that title. One of my favorite fights of 2019.
My opinion, he beat Costa 2 rounds to 1.
I think so too. That was a great fight, though.
Yeah. A great fight. That was an awesome fight. Taken away from Costa, but I think Romero won that fight. Yeah,
a great card. That card.
Yeah, he had 3 fight of the night performances, and wasn't 44. Finished in any of.
He's
his
listed
losses.
at 44. He did recently win that lawsuit with whatever that supplement company was, and he just like pocketed like $30 million in his bank account. And his fighting style switched a little bit since that came around. Like anybody who's like probably heard like, oh yeah, it's Izzy Adesanya and Yoel Romero. What I'm gonna finally watch these guys, hear all about these guys, and they watched that fight. They probably were disappointed.
So it's like, who was it? The boxer. This is probably Jody's Marvin Hagler. You can't hit the streets if you're sleeping in satin sheets.
Right.
Something along those lines.
Right. The problem with Yoel Romero, he had his last title fight, and that was pretty much said before the fight. This is it, right? This is your last chance to get a shot at title, and he did nothing in that fight.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, like I said, theme of the episode, I think he's too good to be a gatekeeper. You don't want to put him up against a young up-and-comer, and he beats him. He's going to beat him. Like, he's better than most of those.
But I mean, if he's been fighting that style where he stalls and doesn't want to press the action anymore.
Dana was really upset with him after the Adesanya fight.
Yeah. At 44 years old, not going to give him another title shot, and he's too good to be a gatekeeper. Why keep him?
You don't think he's running from USADA?
No. He would have been caught by now.
I mean, because I think you keep him because he puts on great fights. You know,
but if he starts banging out your guys that you want to
Right.
build up, like you don't want that to happen.
right.
You know, if he sits there and he fights a Darren Till,
Yeah, because he's not getting the title.
Marvin Vettori, he'll face him. He beats the shit out of Vettori. What's that going to do for your division?
And if you're trying to bump, let Izzy go up to 205 and do some work and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, he's just a roadblock. And how much do you want to fight anymore?
Yeah.
Like, do you think he's going to go? He might not go anywhere and fight anywhere. He might never fight again.
So where does he go?
Well, that's the thing. What's the next? I mean, is he move to a Bellator or something like that?
Bellator says they're out of business to old fighters. I mean, they passed on Silva.
Yeah, but there's a clear difference between this and Anderson Silva.
Is there?
I think there is.
How so?
I just don't think. I think Yoel can still put out if he wants. But like you said, what's the motivation going to be behind
But
it?
answer me this: if you put Yoel Romero on a marquee, or you put Anderson Silva on a marquee, which one's going to sell more tickets or whatever? Obviously, we're not going nowhere, but you know what I mean.
At this point, I think Yoel would.
You think that he's going to draw more? No way. Trust me.
I mean, maybe it's because I watch MMA a lot and I just don't care to see Anderson Silva.
No, me and you.
I would rather see Yoel fight.
Watch any fight. Two people fight. We watch every terrible fight there is.
Yeah.
You know, we watch everything. But I know a lot of lapsed MMA fans or casual fans, and they have no idea who Yoel Romero is.
You get a takedown, they're booing.
They have no idea who Yoel Romero is. So
yeah.
He's again, and all he's going to do, he's probably going to hurt your division because he's going to beat some guy you're going to try to build up. He's too good. He's too good to be a gatekeeper, and he had his last title shot and he did nothing.
Maybe he's done for good. Maybe he goes nowhere.
Yeah, and again, at 45-year-old, you can't knock the guy. He's got the money. Hopefully, he gets that lawsuit money. You know,
maybe it could be like he just doesn't want to fight too.
And that's it.
Man, eat some croquetas on the beach.
I mean, like who else is there for him to fight? Like in that division,
Had
like
some croquetas
without.
yesterday, so
I mean, do you see him as like a trainer or something like that? You open his own gym? I mean,
I can see that. Or maybe doing something in Cuba, maybe part of the Cuban wrestling team coach like that.
it's so hard to understand him. He can't commentate.
I want to go to the Cuba.
You don't want to know.
I'm gone.
You don't want to know.
It's good for Jesus.
Yeah.
It's good for Jesus.
Jesus follow you everywhere.
Well, expanding on this, Dana says.
Beast, though, that guy.
I mean, he is a monster.
He's a statue.
Yeah.
Do we have any predictions on the other 60 fighters Dana looking to cut?
They have so many.
So should we start? Let's go by division.
Yes. Do you think they're all going to be people we know?
Heavyweight. Who's one fight away?
Let's look at the list off the top of my head.
Arlovsky, I think could go.
One.
Yeah, but come on, dude.
One.
That's just a bad look on Bozer. Like, if Arlovsky loses...
That's probably Gon's best win, by the way.
Yeah, look. Look, if Arlovsky loses another fight, can him. I think he's done.
Heavyweight.
Arlovsky.
But, I mean, they are fighting non-sequential.
I mean, Arlovsky is number 15.
If JDS loses this fight...
He's not going anywhere.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think anybody on that list is going anywhere. They have 5,000 fighters.
I mean, they had Walt Harris working the desk recently.
Yeah. He could be one of those to be leaving. He's on the way out anyway. He's already, But they have so many
Yeah, but
fighters.
I think Walt Harris could be more competitive than
What I'm
Arlovsky.
saying is they have so many fighters on their roster. They can cut 60 and you don't even fucking know it. It
Right.
could be a bunch of people you never even fucking heard of.
Right.
They could trim the fat and you don't even know.
Felice Herrig's a good one.
Felice Herrig, probably something that could end up going. But most of the time, the people that get cut aren't ranked. You're not gonna cut the 7th ranked person.
No.
Well, Arlovsky, I can see I understand Arlovsky.
That's what I'm saying. He won, but if he loses, if he takes another L,
he's not fight that often either. So when's the next time you're gonna fight?
I mean, there's a lot there.
I think they probably end up keeping most of the female fighters because
that division. Is
they don't have they don't have the depth.
Right. But I thought
OSP might be someone there.
OSP.
I honestly thought Mike Perry might get the cut because he's missing weight.
He's too excited.
He's too many eyeballs. Too
Robbie Lawler could be a loss away.
No, I don't. His name still sells. See,
I think
you'll see a guy like Michael Chiesa who gets demoted, or Damian Maia get kicked out of there before you see a guy like Robbie Lawler.
Damian Maia could,
Yeah, he could get it.
I could see
Tyron Woodley. He's basically gone. Let's just call him gone.
I could see with a Dominic Cruz loss, since they like to work him so much on the booth.
Well, I think Cruz is kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out anyway. Same thing with Feldman.
I don't really like him as a commentator either, though. Sometimes.
Yes and no.
Sometimes he's okay. Sometimes he doesn't own up to his bullshit.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you saying?
Diego out?
Diego's gone.
Diego's gone.
He wants one more. Diego kind of said he wants.
It's
one
like you
more
were
fight.
saying earlier. Shogun's out.
Shogun one's got to go for sure. But he's even ranked. He's not even ranked, is he?
No, but he's done.
Yeah. I don't think there's not anything ranked.
Uriah Faber, one of my favorite fighters of all time, but
Might be out.
he's not retired. He's still in the rankings.
And they kind of talked about it. Is he?
There's something about him and Dillashaw. I mean, Dillashaw kind of wanted it though, but
We'll talk more about Dillashaw. Where's he at in the rankings?
Who?
I know that if I think that if
Well, he would be in what, lightweight?
No, he's
Faber is bantam.
He'd be 135.
Yeah, he's bantam.
Yeah.
I thought he was in top 15. They must have moved it around.
Marlon Vera fighting?
Last time I checked, Marlon Vera is fighting
Aldo.
Yeah.
Aldo's one that might be on the chopping block soon.
I think Aldo's going to beat
Maybe.
Vera.
If he loses to Marlon Vera, what you do with him?
I think he'll beat Vera.
I'm trying to get these. I don't know. Know who's one big name that I think's on the chopping block? Leon Edwards. I can see Leon Edwards getting cut, and he's the guy that would go to Bellator because he's not washed. But I think his beefs with the UFC and the whole drama they've been going through, he's gonna be like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking for a big name, clickbaity type name that can get cut from UFC, I think Leon Edwards is the guy that could be.
I think if Reem loses, he won't get cut, but he'll quit. He'll retire.
I don't know. Is that going to retire?
But yeah,
Anthony
OSP.
Pettis is a guy that might be one loss away.
Anthony Pettis as well.
But other than that, a lot of these guys. Yeah, a lot of these guys. L.A. Quintus kind of 1 foot out. He's still in that real estate up there in, was it in New York or the Jersey Shore? That same area.
Both, maybe.
Yeah. He said some shit. He tweeted something about. He's funny. He's a funny father.
I mean, I'm looking at I'm looking at Claudia Gagella.
The women, man. There's not that.
It's
many of them.
but like she's fucking taking L's left and right.
Yeah, you need people to take L's though too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the karate hottie getting cut. She's not.
She won her last fight.
Did she?
Yeah.
She beat Angela Hill in decision.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't agree with that, but she did. She got the
It was
win.
close.
The judges just hate Hill. I don't know. I had Hill winning that fight.
But I may see the karate hottie. Cowboy.
Yeah, Cowboy.
No.
Cowboy.
I think more because Dana cares about him.
Yeah.
Like,
No
they do,
way.
like
That
Liddell
guy
treatment.
fights every 6 weeks.
But even he was talking about it on his way out. He was mentioning a little bit like, I don't have this.
Well, he just
this is my
recently
last
said
run.
he had a post. This is my last run at 155.
Right. And
He's not competing.
I mean, maybe
with
that
Tom,
was
man.
his plan. Is like, I'm just going to fight as much as I can for the next 16 months, 18 months, stack it up.
But when he was talking about Diego Sanchez, Dana specifically said Cowboy Cerrone. Like, these guys, you start thinking about when do I tell them to step away. So I think Cowboy's a guy who you might have to, he might be gone.
Yeah.
And then with Bellator and with this new business plan with these young fighters, I don't know if these guys are going to have a home.
But look at these other guys. Like, you got Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown. Loser's gone.
Yes. Yeah. And those are the type of guys that can go.
Court McGee, gone. Like, you lost Carlos Condit.
Their roster is so deep. Alex Caceres is a guy that could probably get him being cut.
He just won, though, didn't he? Recently?
Yeah, he beat Chase Hooper.
Yeah.
But I still think
yeah.
he's the type of guy that can be on him going. Yeah, but they can cut 60 people and you wouldn't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Yoel, he's out. Now we had
The snake in the grass.
The snake in the grass.
The snake in the
Bringing
grass.
heat
The
with his first interview,
EPOs.
too,
I
coming
deserve
out
a
every-
title shot as soon as I come back.
I don't really disagree with him.
I
don't really disagree with him.
I think you give him Sandhagen.
Yeah, that's who we got TJ next with, Sam.
I think you give him Sandhagen.
Well,
And Sandhagen smokes his fucking ass in 1 round.
So just real quick, let's recap. Why what did
that
he?
is a bold claim. Sandhagen could win that fight, but smokes him in 1 round.
I think he smokes him in 1.
We saw Sandhagen versus Aljo look very, very human being. All right.
Yeah.
And TJ's way better than Aljo.
I like TJ. I watched him fight here in Chicago. Loved it when he beat Barao.
Way better.
Come out to the Chili Peppers. Pumped up the audience.
He made Cody No Love question being a fighter. Like, had to rethink his life.
Cody No Skill.
The knockout of 2020.
I mean, do we think he's done juicing? No more picograms there.
Nah,
Wow.
man, he's got a smoothie bar. He's putting EPO in those smoothies.
No.
He opened in Cali.
And I don't think he should be. He just needs to do better.
Just be better about not getting caught.
We'll talk more about USADA and all that stuff a little bit later on. Again, more heat coming our way with my take on that. But, like, that's not going to give you a skill.
I mean, I don't hate it. Like, I wouldn't care if they gave Dillashaw. I think he rightfully could call for it. Like, I mean, he relinquished the title for his EPO. Like, he was at the top though. He was fucking people up until Cejudo.
Yeah.
You know, and Cejudo.
Yeah, but he had a
But what a terrible! Like, he looked awful at 125.
Going into that fight, there was no way I thought he was gonna win.
And he was overconfident. Like, I think Dillashaw was just too overconfident. Like, dude, you're really good. Like, you really are.
Confidence.
But I think you
was Latin for confidence.
You underestimated Cejudo, and it showed.
Right. Or like he looked like Cejudo looked like a normal person.
Well, even with Garbrandt, like you know, I tease about Garbrandt. I think Garbrandt's a very skilled fighter when he chooses to be strategic.
Yeah.
Like, when he doesn't just go in there and get into firefights, Garbrandt can beat the best of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I think TJ, like, it's like how at some point when you're in those firefights, yeah, there's a lot of skill, but how much does it come down to luck as well? And I think, you know, Dillashaw got him. You know,
yeah, but that's
twice.
One instant. TJ's beating a lot of great people.
Yeah. Hidden Barao. Yeah. I
mean, the question they're posing here is, you know, how long till TJ gets a title shot? I mean, how many fights does he have to have, or does he jump into a title fight?
Like I said, I wouldn't be mad if you gave it to him, but I don't think that's the right move to make. I think you give him Sandhagen, because you got Aljo and Jan. Give Sandhagen Dillashaw. You know, if Dillashaw is who he says he is, he's ready. He beat Sandhagen. I would
give TJ the winner of Aljo Jan.
That's for the title, though.
I'd give him the winner.
Whoever. Yeah, but what are you gonna do with Sandhagen?
Where are we at right there with that? I would not have TJ fight before.
Sandhagen's 2, I think.
Because at the very least, you're gonna have a star and a title. It's the same reason why Aldo got the title shot to begin with.
Yeah, and the UFC does that shit. You know, it's all about names and what sells. Like, so Sandhagen already beat Moraes. Obviously, just beat Moraes.
Sandhagen, Frankie. That'd be another win.
Well, he didn't he already fight Frankie? I know that it was supposed to happen.
No, Frankie just fought Pedro.
Sandhagen was supposed to fight Edgar, but I think it didn't happen.
Merab's looking for a fight. Give him Corey. Merab's begging for a fight.
Jimmy Rivera's fighting Pedro Munoz.
Yeah, give me Merab's looking for a fight. He's literally begging for a fight on Twitter.
Merab is 12. So you're going to give him Sandhagen?
Yeah, give him. If you're going to give Chimaev, Leon, why not?
But, I mean, if you give him the number 2 guy, that means if he beats that, you know, now you're title fighting, right?
That's what they're doing. That's what they were planning on doing with Chimaev and Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
That's the same program.
I mean, TJ comes back. Dude, give him Sandhagen. Let him fight.
Give him the winner. First off, Jan is kind of a paper champion right now. Who
but
beat for the title? He didn't beat any of the top 5 for the title.
He didn't. He's beat 2 guys that are on their way out, Aldo and Faber.
Right.
And Faber, both of them were hanging in there for a bit.
He didn't even get one of these guys in that fight. I could get if Jan fought Aljo in that new title fight and fight on. If he would have did it, but he fought Aldo, who wasn't even like in the top 10 at that time. I don't think.
But I mean, Sandhagen needs something to do. Okay, give him. Okay,
give him Merab.
I mean, Aljamain's been fucked so many times. Why not fuck Sandhagen a little bit?
Like, you can give somebody else, but I mean, why not give him Merab?
He wants an immediate title shot.
That's what I mean. Why would you? Like,
oh yeah, title shot against Sterling.
Now you can argue that Peter Yan is not really a champion, or let's just fuck around and have him fight Cejudo.
Yeah, well, Cejudo's not coming back anytime soon.
I didn't know he was talking
this fine new lady he's walking with around on the beach.
But he was talking about coming and fighting Volkanovski. He calls out Volkanovski like every day.
Volkanovski's saying, "Hey, I'm going to fight one more time, then go to lightweight." That's what he's saying.
Well, he cuts from 205.
Does he walk around at that?
Yeah, he was a rugby player.
I know he used to be up there and weight like 220, but I don't know if he walks around at 205.
He cut down from 205. As we say it on Rogan.
I can see him walking around at 185.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's big.
He played rugby. Those guys have big legs.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to some...
Yes, fantasy matchmaking. This is what we came to see. People...
Quote, I'd make King James eat the canvas in half the amount of time. Everyone knows the current NBA players are the softest and most privileged athletes on the planet.
Half the amount of time. So it would take you 2.5 minutes to make LeBron eat the canvas? Colby.
Yeah. Listen.
You're sounding a little worse for the wear there, bro. I hope it'd be sooner than that.
Listen.
And canvas, wouldn't it be? Robinson. If we want to be technical, wouldn't it be eating court?
If they came to his cage. Nate Robinson, what we should all learn from that is there's levels to everything. Yeah. Throughout, like, if you take a little closer examples, right? Look what happened when a world-class MMA fighter, Conor McGregor, fought the top boxer. He looked like an amateur.
Yeah.
You don't step out. Ben Askren, a great college wrestler, an Olympic wrestler, a great MMA fighter, went head-to-head with Jordan Burroughs. What happened?
Destroyed.
Looked out of his lane. If Colby Covington tried to play LeBron James one-on-one, what would happen?
Get dunked on.
So don't
posterize. I understand
there's a guy thing. Like, dude, I'm as toxic masculinity as you can get. Like, I'm a da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But shut up. Shut your mouth.
Lean, mean, raw, American steel. Whatever it is he says.
I'm drinking a drink called Warbringer that tastes like burnt leather. I'm drinking it right here. But stay in your lane, LeBron. You're not. You have no shot. You can dunk a basketball. You can jump. You can run. You're great.
Well, I don't think LeBron didn't come for Colby, did he? Colby came for.
And no. Yes and no. Colby came first. Said that comment about NBA players, and I think he specifically.
Well, he was bitching about them.
It was that Trump nonsense that Kobe
same
loves
shit
to
we've been
do.
dealing with all year.
Yeah, and obviously, like, the NBA has the biggest, crap about whatever. It has the biggest beef with Trump and all that stuff. So Kobe was trying to play his game, playing his character, and he specifically called it LeBron James. Why? Because LeBron James is the biggest name in the NBA. That's what it is. Kobe trying to make himself relevant. That's what he does. And LeBron responded back like I can't remember the exact tweet, but something like "Watch your mouth" or. You don't want to bark up that tree. I can't remember the exact quote LeBron said, but it was something like, "You don't want to try me." Basically chesting up with Colby Covington. No. And I'm not even a Colby Covington fan, but if they stepped in a cage and fought.
Well, I think anybody can do the math on this one.
Right. So
I just can't help but laugh at Covington.
Like LeBron should have came back with more like stay in your lane when you reach my tax bracket, or you're not going to make your name off of me.
Yeah,
that's what he should have been coming back with. The fact that you're going to try to chest up with a fighter, no, I don't care how big you are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Colby wipes the court with him.
Oh, without a doubt. Like I said, if Colby tried to go hoop with him, it would be a ridiculous showing as well.
So maybe how about LeBron and Anthony Davis? How about AD? Why don't you take on both of them at the same time? Maybe I would tune in for that.
This little side note, I know a lot of people like to talk about Meta World Peace or Ron Artest.
Yeah, Ron Artest.
He still would get.
They see me throwing bows in the crowd.
He's not a fat fan in Detroit. All right, this is not.
Yeah.
This is a world class fighter. He will get knocked.
But at least he's got the fight, not the flight. Meta World Peace.
I think a lot of it too. Nate Robinson, you screwed over NBA players. They're gonna have to start fighting fans again. That's what's gonna happen, because right now everyone's like thinking I can beat up an NBA player.
Yeah.
After what happened,
you got knocked out by a fucking YouTube star.
Although
he's training though. I mean,
yeah, he's training, and wasn't he like a wrestler at Ohio University? Or was that his brother?
I don't know.
I think he's a D1 wrestler. So maybe they're fighters too. But it just goes to show, like, stay in it, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
You don't watch.
It's all smoke and mirrors, man. It's all for publicity.
Well, it's all Kobe trying to make a name for us. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Kobe, the election happened. Kobe's got to get a new angle.
It's like the best interview of all time. He's shouting at Usman while Usman's at the desk.
Yeah.
Oh, you just wait till next time. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
What?
It is. That's. If you haven't seen that.
Oh, this is cringeworthy.
Well, but if the fight did get made, it's a giant payday.
I'm buying.
Oh, sure, I'm buying it.
That's what it is. That's exactly what.
Can we have like handicaps? What kind of handicaps can we talk about?
Yeah. What are the?
Can we give LeBron mount? Can we what can we do to give LeBron an advantage? Can he take the back?
I mean, LeBron's got to easily be 100 pounds heavier than Colby, right? Like
LeBron's probably what, 260, 250?
Yeah, probably 40, 50 pounds. Especially if Kobe's not going to cut.
Yeah.
Kobe probably walks around over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm guessing at least 195.
Kobe's probably 195. Yeah, he's lean for 170.
Yeah, but he cuts hard.
It's his cardio. It's his strength.
He's like 5'10",
something like that.
He's not a small guy.
Yeah, but he's a small welterweight.
He's small compared to LeBron, but so is everybody else.
Yeah.
But again, LeBron's not a fighter.
I mean, is there a world in where this fight happens? It's 6 months out. We give
obviously
LeBron
if you could get
6 months to train with Mike Tyson or whoever.
There's been freak show fights like this throughout fighting.
Yeah, but this has been
Bob Sapp's got his ass beat by a lot of people. That with Nog.
Yeah.
Nog and Bob Satt's a prime example of when you have a good fighter versus some big dude that hits people. Like, it's that's a perfect. You want to see a blueprint? Watch Bob Satt when he started fighting real fighters.
Mm-hmm.
And who's that big giant like Korean pop star? It's like 7-footer. He fought Bob Satt too.
Yeah,
like,
I know who you're talking about.
Hair.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but he would fight these freak show fights all the time. They don't work out well for the big guy ever. Jose Canseco.
Yeah.
All these guys try to go ahead and do it. Jose Canseco,
I mean, even when you have the
juice.
combat sports, you watch boxing come to MMA. It's why it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
often.
James
Like,
Toney
James
against
Toney
Randy
got
Couture.
worked by Randy Couture.
Like, you don't cross over.
You don't.
It does. It's now on the flip side. Going from one nonsense fight to another, the Jake Paul Dylan Dallas fight. Now that is a fight
that I would rather see than versus Conor. Like Conor's gonna fucking knock him.
But even
into the
Jake
first
Paul
row.
said to himself, "I got to work my way up to Conor." He said he's not ready to fight Conor yet. He's thinking that Jake Paul's only 23 years old.
Yeah, but Conor has a lot of amateur boxing experience. Conor's like undefeated, I think, amateur boxing.
But that's why he says he's got to work his way up. He's not saying I'm gonna do this next week. He said Conor's my final boss. That's his quote.
Yeah, but what is the point of that? Like, what is the point of you working up when Conor's going to be 40 fucking something years old? Like,
Conor's not that old. Conor's like 12.
Yeah, but by the time Paul is ready to fight
from now.
Conor still beats him.
I don't know.
Conor still beats him.
Paul's bigger.
I don't care.
I don't know 5 years. I don't know 5 years from now. First off, Conor's not that great of a boxer.
Well, he said he
Conor's
put
very
down
technical.
Malignaggi, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
let's say first off, I think Paul will smoke Dylan Dennis.
I think Paul. Yeah.
We're not talking jiu-jitsu here.
I think it's more competitive, yes. Paul and Dennis.
And then he puts a couple other wins under his belt. Like, he's not jumping in to fight Conor McGregor. We got to remember, Conor McGregor's first pro fight was against Floyd Mayweather. So, like, he jumped in there.
Yeah. I think Paul, no.
Today,
Paul,
yes.
no.
Talk to me in 5 years.
I will.
Talk to me in 5 years. I don't know. Did Jake Paul?
No. Paul's not beating McGregor.
Not today.
McGregor's been doing this for way too long.
We'll see about that. Yeah. I think that's going to eventually happen. I think that's eventually going to happen.
Yeah, when fucking McGregor needs to buy his way out of more lawsuits later on from punching.
I think McGregor has, 2-3 more years left in the UFC?
I think we'll know after January 23rd.
Yeah, I mean...
Depending on how that fight goes.
He's going to be a favorite in that fight.
If Poirier... I mean, I don't think this happens, but if Poirier beats McGregor, where does McGregor go?
Goes to fight...
Bellator?
No. I think if Conor McGregor loses that fight, which I think is more likely than you, I don't think he's I'm not gonna sit there and say it's a lock that Dustin Poirier wins, but I think that fight's gonna be pretty damn close when it goes down. If he loses that fight, I don't think he does MMA anymore.
I don't think so either.
I think he does.
I think if he loses that fight, he's done.
Path. He's gonna fight these crazy. I think he goes to Pacquiao first. Gets his shit beat out by Manny Pacquiao.
I honestly really, what more does McGregor have to do in this sport? I think McGregor needs to. I think he needs to defend a belt. He's never defended a belt.
Right.
So but what's going to motivate him? Habib doesn't want to fight you anymore, so you can't avenge that loss. You avenge the Nate Diaz loss. You're never going to avenge the Habib loss.
That's where I was going to go with it. If he does lose to Dustin Poirier, and he wants to have a fight to make some money, go Nate Diaz 3.
Yeah, but I don't care about Nate Diaz.
You want to watch that fight?
I would watch it, but I don't care.
I argue that Nate Diaz got him twice.
That would be my argument too.
Really? Oh, y'all ganging up on me now.
I can see where Conor won the fight, but if they would have
Conor won that second.
If we had a pink judge, Nate Diaz might have won that fight.
That's
well,
true.
let's also not forget that Diaz finished Conor.
Yeah.
In that rear
that was an exclamation. That's an exclamation mark.
You know.
But don't you want to get that rubber match? Cause if Conor loses to Poirier, he's out of the title.
I'd rather see Conor Nick.
Nick's way too big.
I'd love
Nick's way too big. He'd be
you make 170, make 170.
Nick beat Anderson Silva in his prime. Let's talk about that fight and that decision. Nick beat Anderson Silva.
I think Conor's gonna beat Poirier. I think there's nobody right now in the 155 division that will beat Conor. There's some people that'll give him some trouble, but I think he beats them all.
I don't know what Conor is right now. You can't tell.
Michael Chandler's a little bit bigger version of Chad Mendez.
But you're talking about Conor McGregor.
Conor smokes Gaethje.
When's the last time Conor fought? 2 years ago?
But I think, I really, truly do think styles make fights, and I think Conor excels at what he's good at.
Conor beats Ferguson?
I don't think so.
Right?
I don't think so.
That might be the toughest
I
test.
think the only person on that list that beats Tony Ferguson is Justin Gaethje because he proved it. And obviously, Khabib
beats
he's
Ferguson,
retired.
dude.
He's let's
he's not even up there.
Let's take the man by his word. He's retired.
I think
He said he ain't fighting again unless mommy says he can.
Yeah. I mean, I think Conor beats Gaethje. Conor beats Poirier. Conor beats Ferguson. Conor beats Hooker. Dos Anjos. Conor beats Dos Anjos. I don't know. I think Conor beats all these guys.
Did he fight Dos Anjos?
No, they were supposed to fight. That was supposed to be his first fight at 155.
I don't know if Conor gets Dos Anjos after you've seen the way Conor was spent from the Khabib grappling.
I think Conor keeps it at range.
Does Conor go to welterweight or does
he gets
no, come on.
He gets destroyed.
Conor, no, Conor's not.
I think there's two fights. If Conor loses Dustin Poirier, which I think could happen,
Connor's beating none of those guys right there at welterweight.
he goes to either Diaz or Masvidal.
That's what I'm thinking. Like Masvidal.
Masvidal's his best chance. Masvidal's his best chance.
He's gonna get eaten alive by anybody.
Yeah, I think Masvidal beats him, but I think it's his best.
Bilal Muhammad beats Conor McGregor.
Yeah, all 14 of those guys will beat Conor.
For sure. But I don't know. Conor might beat Damian Maia.
Not if he grapples him.
Damian Maia's not that great at taking people down though either.
Yeah.
And Conor's got pretty good. The one people that never talk about Conor McGregor, he's got pretty good takedown defense.
Yeah, he does.
And nobody ever talks about that. He's got pretty good takedown defense. But those guys are just big dudes. Like, Usman owns them in a boring-ass fight. The worst fight you've ever watched in your life, but Usman will win it.
Yeah, fuck Usman.
Well, let's move on to some suspensions here.
USADA, my favorite people. So,
where is this guy?
Right behind COVID on knocking fights out.
Yeah, where in the world is Yair Rodriguez? It's a new video game coming out this fall.
Yeah.
So apparently, I don't know the ins and outs of it 100%, but it was some paperwork. Like he wasn't being USADA couldn't find him. I think
he wasn't reporting his whereabouts.
Bring me back to old dirty Mark Coleman, Kerr, MMA. I want that back. I'm tired of USADA. I'm tired of picograms. I'm tired of everybody whining about this guy's unjuiced, that guy's unjuiced. Listen, folks. Nothing's 100%, but your favorite athlete most likely takes something along.
No matter you're watching NBA, NFL, MLB,
they're doing something. They're taking some turn. And on the flip side, even if they didn't take juice or steroids or PEDs, they're taking supplements that are trying to get the same effects. They're trying to do that.
Well, it goes back to like back at the MLB days when McGuire and Sosa. Right. Did you not like watching all those fucking home runs?
Right.
I damn sure did. Give them more steroids. I want to see 100 home runs in one season.
It's not cheating unless you make it against the rules.
Let's make baseball exciting. Give them steroids.
We've changed rules in every single sport about everything. What it's going to do, you know what steroids are going to do for your favorite athletes for the most part?
Or your sport?
It's going to make them recover faster.
Make it more exciting.
It's going to make them have longer careers. It's going to make them a better athlete than what they already are seeing. So it's going to improve sports. And I'm going to go out there and take that bold take. And I'm going to get all the YouTube and social media doctors talking about
blame anybody, blame the Russians.
Right.
For the super soldiers.
Doping has been around in sports since the 30s, I believe it was.
It was Russians.
Well, and then everybody else started doing it. And it was just like openly talked about. They would all do it. And it was like, oh, yeah, this is how we do it. Why wouldn't you do this?
That's what's made sports so exciting. Like, you can't, like, go back now.
No.
Like, look at all these, like, athletes in the NFL. Like, you want big hits. You want these. You just can't. Like,
and it's always going to be there. Like, you can come up with a new test of a new skate around it. They're going to come out with a new drug that works. There's as fast as the system's catching it, the new one's already out. It's going to happen.
You're going to need a scapegoat every now and then.
Right. Someone's going to get caught. Someone's going to slip up. Someone doesn't have the top team.
Yeah.
He's going to get
it's like, what's a great documentary you can watch on Netflix about the shit Icarus? Go watch Icarus if you haven't seen Icarus. Fucking amazing.
Yeah. Exactly. It was kind of open Icarus and Bigger, Stronger, Faster.
Yeah. I mean, people are taking steroids for cycling.
Right.
If they're taking it for fucking cycling, they're taking it for everything. Swimming, badminton.
Listen, in my high school and college sports experience, I knew guys that were juicing from that point. It happens. It's part of the game. Yeah. It's what it is.
Well, you think you're going to do whatever you can to get an edge because at the end of the day, that might end up making you millions of more dollars and getting you more exposure if you feel like it's going to win you a fight. Like,
right.
Keep it regulated. They're saying if you can regulate it enough, there's there's tons of many adverse effects.
Steroid abuse is very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Bad side effects. But if you do it with the right people, the right equipment, the right doctors telling you how to do it, it's really not that big of a risk. More than stepping in a cage and having to punch you in the head. Ask Matt Wyman about performance-enhancing drugs. It doesn't really matter because he just slammed his head into the ground. You're jumping to a cage. Yeah. You sign up,
and you still get 6 freebies when it comes to concussions.
Yeah, right. Right. That's it. CTE, all that stuff. It's you're signing. No one's forcing you to play sports.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. You're not forced to go ahead and do that.
You know, as we Americans, bigger is better, right? Like we want the most exciting shit. And
we glamorize steroids. If you like see a commercial for something that's new, bigger, and better, they go, "Oh, it's like the old model on steroids." Like they glamorize steroids no matter what. But as soon as an athlete takes it, I don't know what it is about it.
Yeah. Right.
And then Yair didn't even test positive for anything.
Yeah.
He just wasn't found. So I think you decided it gets in the way. And then once you start getting these big government bodies and whatever, it starts getting crooked and they tweak it. I mean, look at the John Jones situation. Everything that happened with that, with the whole jumping to another state to run away from one athletic commission. Like, you're just asking for more trouble. The more rules you have, the more trouble you're going to get.
Well, moving on from performance enhancing, how about marijuana? Do we consider that performance enhancing? Is that
how many times like you've gotten high and went and rolled in jiu-jitsu?
Yes. So maybe you can argue performance enhancing. I can kind of get that.
Yeah.
But
get you in that flow state.
Yeah.
Numb the pain.
Should it suspend you for 6 months?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I mean, any more than having a drink, or whatever it may be to get the edge off, especially. Like, what if Illinois, marijuana recreation is legal, right? Totally cool. You can do it anytime you want. You can do it in the middle of the street if you want to do it. Why should you get suspended for fighting if you're taking it? I mean, the whole country, not the whole country, but most of the country is far behind on this subject anyway. Again, it goes to the whole...
Well, the question, I guess, with like Nico Price testing positive, he tested positive after the Cowboy fight. Should you be able to fight while high? Do you think that's...
I mean, I think that's an insurance liability, probably.
Dude, you're signing a waiver.
Yeah, I mean...
I kind of feel like if I were your opponent, and I'd kind of want you to be high.
Do you think they bickered about this shit in fucking Rome back in the day when you fucking... you're fighting to the fucking death?
General, I mean, what is the big problem? If you're high, if at the most... You're hurting yourself, right?
Well, Tyson, I think, said he was high during the Jones fight.
Tyson goes, "It's just my life. It's just my life. It's what I do.
I'm not going to stop."
I don't understand. You're looking at that as a major liability, but you're not thinking about CTE as a major liability. Your nose getting broken is a major liability. Your ear getting torn off your fucking head is a major liability.
Jumping into a cage to get punched and kicked and everything, elbows. It's all dangerous.
I mean, I've had some fucking pretty serious sativa strains that made me want to run through a wall. So I think it's great. I think it's nonsense. It's bullshit.
I definitely think it's bullshit. Again, I'm from the camp of the less rules, the better.
Yeah.
No eye gouges, no low blows, no oil checks. Everything else, let's go.
I mean, I wouldn't mind anything goes. It's a fucking fight.
Well, it is kind of funny, right? Like, you can kick somebody in the fucking head and give them brain damage, but you kick them in the balls. It's cheating.
It's like you can knock their teeth out like Teixeira did Smith, but you can't smoke a little weed before you do it.
Or stick your thumb in their butt.
Yeah. Fondle their balls.
Like, you could break this guy's neck in a guillotine gone, neck crane gone wrong, but if you hit him in a low blow,
you could potentially kill somebody.
Right.
People have died in this in MMA and boxing.
But you
can't smoke a little weed.
But if you smoke a little weed, it's just a strange, like, false. What's the word I'm looking for?
Sounds like a bunch of prudes are running the show.
I think it kind of goes even to like the old. It's been around for so long. The stigma of marijuana has been bad for dope and all that. What's that? Reefer madness. Like that still lingers on today with this shit, and it kind of trickles into the rest of the world. It's strange. And then now this guy is going to be suspended. What, $9,000? That's probably what he gets to show. Like, Nico Price is not a main card guy yet. He hasn't really fought in main events or nothing like that. So that's probably his show money for a fight. Like these, especially the lower card guys. These guys aren't rich people. Like, they're working hard. They have their hustles, their merchandise, whatever it may be. But that fight is it. It costs a lot of money to train for a fight, the food for a fight, to go to travel. They pay for all that shit.
It just goes to show the inconsistencies across the board. It's like this state, you can get high, but the federal level, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm totally against this.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about wraps us up, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we got.
So, be sure.
Go to In the Guard Podcast DraftKings.com. We're going to be posting, our best value DraftKings plays on there. You can find links to our Twitter, our Instagram. We post things throughout the week, what we're looking forward to the most.
Whiskey and
wagers coming up.
Yeah, the IndyGuard podcast. We're at IG at IndyGuard, Instagram, Twitter at IndyGuard1, and then YouTube. Look us up at IndyGuard. You can go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, say how stupid I am. These guys do not drink when they're talking, whatever it may be. However you feel about us, let us know about it. You might see me comment back at you. Either nicely, meanly, who knows? Depends what I'm drinking that day.
If you're in Chicago, when things get back to normal, come roll with us. Viana Brothers Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, we'll be over there on the mat.
Get down and dirty.
All the tough talk that we have in here, we try to back it up. You might get us.
Get out of your mom's basement. We'll choke you out.
Yeah.
We'll be live tweeting UFC 256 coming up here. So
Bellator too. Bellator 254 Thursday. We'll be on there live tweeting that as well.
Yeah. Thanks so much, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you.
See ya.